Chapter 1846. Qing Yun, do you know the origin of this Saint Power brand? Qian Linglong was shocked when she saw the change in Mo Qing Yun's expression. She quickly asked Mo Qing Yun. She felt that if Mo Qing Yun did not know the origin of the Saint Power brand, he would not have such a reaction. Mo Qing Yun did not hide anything from Qian Linglong's inquiry. He said, truthfully, if I'm not wrong, the person who left this Saint Power brand should be a Saint Realm expert from the Tang clan. I have some enmity with the Tang clan, so he must be up to no good. Mo Qing Yun was not in a hurry to tell Qian Linglong about the Gate of Creation. He planned to tell her in detail later. It's very dangerous to be targeted by a Saint Realm expert. I must erase this Saint Power brand. Qian Linglong frowned when she knew the origin of the Saint Power brand. She wanted to help Mo Qing Yun get rid of this hidden danger. Qian Linglong released a gust of Saint Power to erase the Saint Power brand left by Tang Chai. A gust of pure Saint Power gathered at Qian Linglong's fingertips and transformed into a silver longsword. Break! Under Qian Linglong's control, the silver longsword immediately blasted toward the Saint Power brand. It collided with the Saint Power brand in a domineering manner. After being hit by the silver longsword, the Saint Power brand made a sound, but it was not damaged at all. Not damaged at all. Mo Qing Yun was shocked when he saw the state of the Saint Power brand. He was very surprised by this situation. He did not expect that the Saint Power brand would be intact under Qian Linglong's attack. After all, Qian Linglong was a Saint Realm expert. Her attack must be extremely powerful. The Saint Power brand was not damaged under her full attack. This showed how powerful the Saint Power brand was. Qing Yun, I didn't expect this person to care so much about you. He actually left a saintly source imprint. After checking Mo Qing Yun's Saint Power brand, Qian Linglong found that it was different. She said, the Saint source is the foundation of a Saint Realm expert. In order to deal with you, he did not hesitate to consume his Saint source. It seems that you have something that he is determined to get. Sacred Source brand? Mo Qing Yun's expression changed when he heard Qian Linglong's words. He hadn't expected that Ting Chai would pay such a high price. When Mo Qing Yun realized this, he immediately had a clear understanding of Tenchu's words. No wonder Tenchu had always said that once Ting Chai fancied something, he would get it at all costs. Now, in order to obtain the Gate of Destinies, Ting Chai did not hesitate to consume his own Saint source. It was clear how determined he was. The more he understood Ting Chai's determination, the more uneasy Mo Qing Yun felt, and the more he feared Ting Chai. Not only Mo Qing Yun, but Qian Linglong also became more worried when she knew Ting Chai's intentions. She knew very well that a Saint Realm expert would not consume his Saint source unless he had no other choice. Qing Yun, can you tell me why Ting Chai is so crazy about you? Qian Linglong was curious as she hurriedly asked Mo Qing Yun. She wanted to know what made Ting Chai lose her mind. When he heard Qian Linglong's question, Mo Qing Yun no longer hid the truth. He said in a deep voice, Linglong, I think you should know that I have the Gate of Destinies with me. Gate of Destinies? Qian Linglong's face changed. She pondered for a moment and said, so, it's because of the Gate of Destinies. That's not strange. After understanding Ting Chai's motive, Qian Linglong's face tensed up and the worry on her face deepened. She said, since this person has paid such a high price to know your whereabouts, it seems like he's determined to get the Gate of Destinies. We must erase the brand he left behind. Qian Linglong muttered to herself. She no longer hesitated and began to erase the Saint Source brand. Qian Linglong's jade-like hands moved quickly as she pointed at her forehead and drew out a drop of blood. As soon as the drop of blood appeared, it emitted a terrifying saint energy and quickly turned into a blood spear. After the blood spear was formed, it turned into a ray of bloodlight and blasted towards the Saint Source brand again. Bang! After being hit by the blood spear, the Saint Source brand instantly disintegrated and turned back into pure saint energy. As the Saint Source brand was erased, Mo Qing Yun immediately felt relieved. The feeling of being watched was gone. Who is it? How dare you spoil my plan? The Saint Source brand turned back into Saint Energy, and an angry voice came from the Saint Energy. Soon after, a black figure quickly appeared. "How dare you meddle in my business? I'll kill you now." When the black figure saw Qian Long, it roared angrily and pounced on her. Soon, the black figure turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared into Qian Long's head. Puff! As the black figure invaded her mind, Qian Long immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face turned pale. Then, Qian Long's body went limp, and she fell to the ground. It seemed that she had paid a huge price to erase the Saint Source brand. Seeing Qian Long fall to the ground, Mo Qingyun became nervous and immediately rushed towards her. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pulled Qian Long into his arms. He carefully helped her to sit down. No, Linglong's primordial spirit is severely injured. It can't withstand the impact of Tung Chai's mind. After observing Qian Long's condition, Mo Qingyun became nervous and began to think of a way to erase the Saint Source brand. Mo Qingyun thought for a while, and his eyes lit up as he thought of a feasible way. Demonic eye-seizing soul. A gray light flashed in Mo Qingyun's eyes, and a powerful soul power blasted out and turned into a huge eyeball. The huge eyeball appeared, and it emitted a tearing force that invaded Qian Long's mind. As the tearing force invaded Qian Long's mind, it immediately pulled her primordial spirit and Tung Chai's mind out. Imperial Seal, killing spiritual eye. After withdrawing Tung Chai's mind, Mo Qingyun did not stop and immediately attacked Tung Chai's mind. Suddenly, a gray soul light blasted on Tung Chai's mind. Puff! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Tung Chai's mind screamed and began to dissipate. After killing Tung Chai's mind, Mo Qingyun immediately relaxed and removed the demonic eye-seizing soul. Without the tearing force of the demonic eye-seizing soul, Qian Long's primordial spirit returned to her body. After such a torment, Qian Long's complexion was very poor, and her aura had become much weaker. Seeing Qian Long's appearance, Mo Qingyun's face was full of self-blame. He asked with concern, "Ling Long, how are you? Don't scare me." Mo Qingyun could feel that Qian Long's primordial spirit was extremely weak, as if it would collapse at any time. Seeing Mo Qingyun's nervous expression, Qian Long smiled sweetly and said, "Don't worry, I'm a Saint Realm expert. Nothing will happen to me." Chapter 1847. Ling Long, how are you? Seeing that Qian Long had fallen into a deep sleep, Mo Qingyun was shocked. His eyes were filled with worry and self-blame. If Qian Long had not helped him remove the imprint, her injuries would not have worsened, and she would not have fallen into a deep sleep. Mo Qingyun could clearly feel that Qian Long's aura was weakening little by little, as if it would collapse at any time. Sensing that Qian Long's aura was weakening, Mo Qingyun immediately released his soul power to check on Qian Long's primordial spirit. Under Mo Qingyun's inspection, he found that Qian Long's primordial spirit's injuries were rapidly worsening. Not good. The balance of Ling Long's primordial spirit's injuries was broken by Tung Chai's attack. After discovering Qian Long's injuries, Mo Qingyun was immediately shocked. His mind was working quickly. He had to think of a way to stabilize Qian Long's injuries. Otherwise, if Qian Long's injuries were allowed to worsen, she would have no choice but to reincarnate. Ling Long's injuries worsened because she was helping me resolve the crisis. I have to save her at all costs. The more Mo Qingyun thought about it, the more he blamed himself. With a solemn expression, he showed his determination to save Qian Long. He said solemnly, "Ling Long, you risked your life for me. Even if I have to go to the 9 heavens or the 9 underworlds, I will definitely heal your injuries." When Mo Qingyun was speaking, an inconspicuous drop of light flowed out from the corner of Qian Long's eyes. Perhaps because he was too concerned about Qian Long's injuries, Mo Qingyun did not notice the light flowing out of Qian Long's eyes. The absolute beginning bloodline has a strong recovery ability. If Linglong refines my blood, it may be able to alleviate the worsening of her injuries. Thinking about the special ability of his blood, Mo Qingyun did not care too much and immediately cut his wrist. Drops of red blood flowed out from Mo Qingyun's wrist and fell into Qian Linglong's mouth. Rise! After sending the blood into Qian Linglong's mouth with his left hand, Mo Qingyun raised his right hand and lifted Qian Linglong's body. Then, Mo Qingyun released a surge of Xianqing's spiritual energy and infused it into Qian Linglong's body. The Xianqing spiritual energy infused into Qian Linglong's body guided the spiritual energy in her body, and it started to circulate in an orderly manner. As Qian Linglong's Xuanqing's blood flowed, Qian Linglong began to refine Mo's blood. Gradually, the spiritual energy in Qian Linglong's body started to circulate automatically. After a while, perhaps it was the effect of Mo Qingyun's blood, Qian Linglong's complexion improved a little. Seeing the scene, Linglong's, yes. From the looks of it, his blood must have worked and temporarily prevented Qian Linglong's injuries from worsening. Her S Linglong's pair, Linglong S, Linglong S. Linglong's Linglongs. Linglong, you're awake? How are you? Seeing that Qian Linglong had woken up, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with anxiety. He quickly asked about Qian Linglong's condition. Facing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Linglong avoided his eyes. She said apologetically, Qingyun, I'm sorry. Although my primordial spirit is under control, it's starting to dissipate. I'm afraid it won't be long before my primordial spirit completely dissipates. Your primordial spirit is dissipating? Isn't your breathing stable? Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun's body trembled. It was as if he was struck by lightning. He never thought that Qian Linglong's primordial spirit's injuries would worsen to such an extent. It seemed that Qian Linglong's current performance was a sign of terminal lucidity. I'm sorry. My primordial spirit is dissipating. I'm afraid I can't maintain the existence of my avatar. Qian Linglong's apologetic tone became even more. Her weak expression revealed a strong sense of helplessness. Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately froze. He could not help but take a step back. This situation had completely exceeded his expectations, causing him to feel somewhat unprepared. At this moment, Mo Qingyun clearly felt that he was so insignificant. Strength. It's all because I'm too weak. If I were at the Sage Realm, I wouldn't be afraid of Tong Chai. I wouldn't have caused Linglong to be seriously injured. For a moment, Mo Qingyun's expression was a little crazy. It was as if he had fallen into a trance. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Qian Linglong looked distressed. She quickly comforted Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, don't blame yourself too much. If there's an afterlife, perhaps we'll meet again. No matter what method I use, I'll heal you. I'll definitely do it. Mo Qingyun's expression became calm again. He looked at Qian Linglong with a firm gaze. He showed an incomparably strong determination. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Qian Linglong was touched. She threw herself into Mo Qingyun's arms and said, I believe in you. You can do it. Seeing Qian Linglong's actions, Mo Qingyun had a strange feeling. It was as if Qian Linglong was Long Han Yen. Am I hallucinating? When this strange feeling appeared, Mo Qingyun could not help but mutter to himself. It was as if Qian Linglong was somewhat different. However, although Mo Qingyun was puzzled, he did not say anything. For a moment, the two of them were silent. They hugged each other silently. Linglong, since my blood is effective, you can refine some more of it. Thinking about the recovery effect of his blood, Mo Qingyun did not want to delay any longer. He was ready to let Qian Linglong refine his blood. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qian Linglong was touched. She shook her head and said, No need. Unless I continue to refine your blood, my primordial spirit will continue to dissipate. But if you don't refine my blood, seeing Qian Linglong's actions, Mo Qingyun looked nervous. He was ready to persuade Qian Linglong. However, before Mo Qingyun could finish his words, Qian Linglong raised her hand and interrupted him. After interrupting Mo Qingyun, Qian Linglong smiled at Mo Qingyun and said, "If you consume too much of her essence blood, it will affect your cultivation talent in the future. As a result, you won't be able to cultivate to the sage realm. Who else can I count on to heal my injuries?" "All right, I'll listen to you." Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun understood the importance of the matter. He could not help but clench his fists tightly. When Mo Qingyun made up his mind to heal Qian Linglong's injuries, his face turned cold, and he said, "Tung Chai, the Tung family. I, Mo Qingyun, swear today that I will personally exterminate your family in the future. If gods block my path, I will kill them. If immortals block my path, I will kill them. If demons block my path, I will kill them." When Mo Qingyun said this, a terrifying killing intent emerged from his body. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and immediately went back to cultivating. Chapter 1848. Upon seeing that Mo Qingyun was immersed in his cultivation, Qian Linglong did not disturb him. Instead, she stood silently by his side. Under Qian Linglong's watchful gaze, a glowing door that emitted a devouring power quickly condensed above Mo Qingyun. The gate of creation is indeed not simple. It seems like Qingyun's current level has something to do with the gate of creation. Qian Linglong had an enlightened look on her face when she saw the devouring door above Mo Qingyun. She had a rough idea of the reason behind it. Qian Linglong's pretty face changed as she thought of a possibility. In that case, the Sage-grade powerhouse must have left a sacred source brand on Qingyun because of the gate of creation. In Qian Linglong's opinion, apart from the gate of creation, there was nothing else that could make a Sage-grade powerhouse go crazy. As Qian Linglong thought of this, she immediately came up with a plan as she muttered to herself, "When Qingyun's cultivation is over, I will have to remind her about the creation gate." Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun cultivated. As Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate, the aura that he exuded grew stronger little by little. Roughly half a month later, the aura that Mo Qingyun emitted reached an extreme level. As Mo Qingyun's aura reached its peak, his ability to sense the outside world also reached an unprecedented level. At that moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been immersed in his cultivation, slowly opened his eyes. The peak of the robust soul stage, just a little bit away from the soul-tempering stage. After withdrawing from his cultivation, Mo Qingyun sensed his cultivation level and muttered to himself, "After entering the robust soul stage, my soul power is obviously much stronger. I wonder what kind of improvement will there be when I enter the soul-tempering stage." Qian Linglong's pretty face lit up when she saw that Mo Qingyun had withdrawn from his cultivation. She hurriedly walked over to Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, congratulations. Your cultivation level has improved once again. You're even closer to the sage grade now." After Qian Linglong finished speaking, she made a funny face at Mo Qingyun like a little girl. When he saw Qian Linglong's expression, the depression in Mo Qingyun's heart was immediately swept away. "Linglong, the war martyrs have already escaped from the extraterrestrial immortal prison. Should we ask him for help?" Qian Linglong's situation reminded Mo Qingyun of the war martyrs. He wanted to ask the war martyrs for help, so he said, "War martyrs' strength and experience, perhaps he might have some way to stop your primordial spirit dissipating." No, you must not go to senior brother." When she heard Mo Qingyun mention the war martyrs, Qian Linglong's pretty face immediately changed. She stopped Mo Qingyun's plan. Qian Linglong was very clear that if the war martyrs knew about her injuries, things would become very troublesome. With the fiery temperament of the war martyrs, if he knew the whole story, he might directly kill Mo Qingyun. Seeing Qian Linglong's reaction, although Mo Qingyun was somewhat puzzled, he still nodded and said, "If that's the case, then I will use my own strength to heal your injuries. You must hold on. In fact, Mo Qingyun did not want to ask the war martyrs for help. He just could not bear to see Qian Linglong's injuries worsen. And, seeing that Mo Qingyun was willing to listen to her advice, Qian Linglong's pretty face immediately lit up. She finally put down the worry in her heart and said, "Qingyun, if I'm not wrong, that true Saint Realm expert left behind a Saint Source brand for your fortune gate. You should be careful of him." At this time, while Mo Qingyun and Kualei were talking, Kualei transmitted a message to Mo Qingyun. "Master, we have arrived at the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe. Do you have any instructions now?" "We have arrived." Hearing Kualei's report, Mo Qingyun was surprised. He was somewhat surprised by this news. Seeing the change in Mo Qingyun's expression, Qian Linglong was curious. She could not help but ask Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, what's wrong? Did something happen?" "Nothing. We have just arrived at the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe." Mo Qingyun gave a simple reply to Qian Linglong's question and said, "Since we have arrived at the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe, I will leave for a while and bring Wenyu to the Fortune mainland." "All right, go ahead." Hearing Mo Qingyun's plan, Qian Linglong smiled understandingly and agreed to Mo Qingyun's plan. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun said a few words to Qian Linglong before he left the Fortune mainland. After leaving the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun came to Kualei's side and put away the Divine Arclan's flying boat. "Let's go. We will enter the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe." After instructing Kualei, Mo Qingyun took the lead and flew into the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory. After receiving Mo Qingyun's signal, Kualei immediately followed behind and entered the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory with Mo Qingyun. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory, he was very familiar with the place and quickly arrived at the inner area. Mr. Mo, you're here." Just as Mo Qingyun entered the inner area of the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory, he was recognized by some people and they excitedly came to greet him. Looking at these people's attitude, they were able to recognize Mo Qingyun, probably because of Han Wanqing's instructions. "Mr. Mo, you're finally here. The Patriarch has been waiting for you for a long time." When these people arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, they were immediately excited and hurried to greet him. When these people greeted Mo Qingyun, some of them hurriedly left to report the news of Mo Qingyun's arrival. "Bring me to see Uncle Han." When he heard the words of these guards, Mo Qingyun didn't waste time with them and immediately instructed them. When they heard Mo Qingyun's instructions, the guards didn't dare delay and immediately brought Mo Qingyun to see Han Wanqing. After a while, under the guidance of these guards, Mo Qingyun saw Han Wanqing and the others. "Uncle Han, how is Wenyu?" When Mo Qingyun saw Han Wanqing and the others, he skipped the formalities and directly asked about Han Wenyu's situation. When they heard Mo Qingyun's question, Han Wanqing and the others were shocked, but when they thought about Han Wenyu's identity, they understood. "Come with me quickly." Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Han Wanqing didn't waste time and immediately brought Mo Qingyun to see Han Wenyu. He was very clear that since Mo Qingyun knew that Han Wenyu was in trouble, he must also know about Han Wenqing's situation. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at Han Wenyu's room and saw Han Wenyu's weak aura. Wenyu, seeing Han Wenyu in a deep sleep, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a nervous expression and quickly walked to Han Wenyu's bed. When he arrived in front of Han Wenyu, Mo Qingyun immediately released his soul force to check on Han Wenyu's situation. After checking on Han Wenyu's situation, Mo Qingyun's expression turned grave and said in a deep sleep, "Uncle Han, Wenyu's situation isn't optimistic. I want to take her away from here immediately. I hope you can agree to my request. Take Wenyu away." When he heard Mo Qingyun's request, Han Wanqing's expression changed, and he couldn't help but look at Han Wenyu. Chapter 1849. Qingyun, I won't say any unnecessary words. I hope you can bring Wenyu back safely. Looking at Han Wenyu lying on the bed, Han Wanqing's expression was heavy as he looked expectantly at Mo Qingyun. In Han Wanqing's heart, he had placed all his hopes of saving Han Wenyu on Mo Qingyun. "I will. Under Han Wanqing's expectant gaze, Mo Qingyun nodded solemnly and helped Han Wenyu up. Mo Qingyun helped Han Wenyu up. He did not explain anything to Han Wanqing, directly sending Han Wenyu to the Fortune mainland. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Han Wanqing was surprised, curious as to where Han Wenyu was being sent. However, Han Wanqing hesitated for a moment and decided not to ask Mo Qingyun. In his opinion, this might involve Mo Qingyun's secret. It was better not to ask Mo Qingyun. Uncle Han, I still have important matters to attend to, so I won't stay here any longer. After sending Han Wenyu to the Fortune mainland and handing her over to Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun bid farewell to Han Wanqing. Qian Linglong's condition was too serious. There was no time to waste. He had to make the best use of every second. You're leaving so soon? Hearing that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, Han Wanqing was surprised. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to be so quick to leave. Seeing Han Wanqing's surprise, Mo Qingyun nodded solemnly and explained, "When you became like this because her main body was seriously injured. In order to heal her main body's injuries, we need to refine a 9 days Nirvana creation pill. This pill's recipe has appeared in the immortal desolate world, so I'm preparing to make a trip there. 9 days Nirvana creation pill. I've seen this pill in ancient records. Every ingredient is hard to find." As soon as he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Han Wanqing's expression became even more shocked, and his mood became even heavier. It seems like Han Wanqing was very clear about the difficulty of refining the 9 days Nirvana creation pill. No matter how difficult it is, I will refine the 9 days Nirvana creation pill. Mo Qingyun's face was solemn, and his tone was firm, showing his determination. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Han Wanqing nodded with gratification. He patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder and said, "If that's the case, I won't keep you any longer. This trip to the immortal desolate world will be dangerous, so you must take good care of yourself." Okay, Mo Qingyun nodded and returned with Han Wanqing and the others. They walked out of the Violet Jade, Luan Phoenix clan. When they left the Violet Jade, Luan Phoenix clan, Mo Qingyun thought of an important matter and hurriedly said, "Uncle Han, the outer world immortal prison has been opened by someone. All the devils imprisoned there have come to the wasteland continent. You must be careful and guard against them. The outer world immortal prison has been opened." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Han Wanqing's expression shook. His face was full of shock. This news was not a good thing for them. The outer world immortal prison had imprisoned devils from the desolate era, and every one of them was extremely vicious. If they came to the wasteland continent, they would definitely turn the wasteland continent upside down, and the Violet Jade Luan Phoenix clan would definitely be implicated. Thinking of this, Han Wanqing's expression turned solemn, and he said, "This matter is indeed very important. Later, I will send a message to the ancestors of the 33 heavens and ask them to return to the clan to deal with this matter." Okay, seeing Han Wanqing's plan, Mo Qingyun was relieved. With the wisdom and ability of the ancestors of the Violet Jade Luan Phoenix clan, dealing with the devils in the outer world immortal prison shouldn't be a problem. Next, Mo Qingyun and the others chatted as they walked out of the Violet Jade Luan Phoenix clan. After a short while, Mo Qingyun arrived outside the Violet Jade Luan Phoenix clan and left under the gaze of Han Wanqing and the others. I didn't expect that in such a short time, this little guy's cultivation had broken through to the Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal stage. Looking at Mo Qingyun flying away, Dragon Snake couldn't help but sigh, and her expression was filled with emotion. Hearing Dragon Snake's words, Han Wanqing also had an emotional expression and sighed. "You don't know, but recently I received news from the Devil Wasteland domain. It is said that Qin Yun's bloodline is of the ancient rank, and he is the #1 person among the younger generation of the Heavenly Soul Demon clan. We all underestimated him back then. Ancient rank bloodline." Dragon Snake and the others were shocked, and the surprise in their hearts was overflowing. As the bloodlines were getting thinner and thinner, ancient rank bloodlines were already rare among the major clans. For a moment, Dragon Snake and the others were silent, and they were amazed by Mo Qingyun's talent. While Dragon Snake and the others were talking, Mo Qingyun left the Violet Jade, Wan Phoenix clan's territory, and ordered Kualei to set up the flying boat. After ordering Kualei to set up the flying boat, Mo Qingyun entered the Fortune mainland and headed to Qian Linglong's residence. When he arrived at Qian Linglong's residence, Mo Qingyun saw that Qian Linglong was not in the small courtyard, so he walked into the bamboo house. At this moment, Qian Linglong was standing beside Han Wenyu, looking at Han Wenyu, who was lying on the bed with a complicated expression. "Qingyun, you're back." Qian Linglong immediately noticed Mo Qingyun walking into the house and turned to look at Mo Qingyun. Hearing Qian Linglong's greeting, Mo Qingyun responded and looked at Han Wenyu, asking, "Linglong, how is Wenyu? Her aura seems to be extremely weak." "She's fine for the time being. I can still maintain her divine sense." Facing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Linglong gave a simple reply, then added, "Qingyun, bring Han Yin, Qingyu, and the others here." Mo Qingyun was puzzled hearing this, not understanding Qian Linglong's intention. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Qian Linglong revealed a bitter expression and said solemnly, "Bring Han Yin and the others here. I need to maintain their divine sense. It will reduce the mental energy consumption." "Okay, I'll bring them here." Hearing Qian Linglong's explanation, Mo Qingyun nodded and went to move Long Han Yin and Murong Qingyu. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he did not stay any longer and left Qian Linglong's residence. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and arrived at the Mo clan's residence, preparing to leave with Long Han Yin and Murong Qingyu. "Master, there's a riot not far ahead. It seems to be because of a ferocious demonic beast." At this time, Kualei's voice suddenly appeared in Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness. He explained to Mo Qingyun, "The appearance of that demonic beast has attracted a lot of cultivators, blocking our path. Don't be in a hurry for the time being. Go and investigate first." After hearing Kualei's report, Mo Qingyun instructed him and walked into the valley where the Mo clan lived. After receiving Mo Qingyun's instructions, Kualei did not dare to hesitate and immediately went to investigate the demonic beast. While Kualei was investigating, he picked up Long Han Yin and Murong Qingyu and sent them to Qian Linglong's residence. Chapter 1850. Master, the demonic beast blocking our way is a seven-headed azure flood dragon with the azure dragon's bloodline. After some investigation, Kualei had obtained information about the demonic beast blocking their way and reported it to Mo Qingyun. A seven-headed azure flood dragon with the azure dragon's bloodline. Hearing Kualei's report, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy and excitement. He had not expected to encounter such a demonic beast on his way to the immortal desolate world. If he could kill this seven-headed green Jiao dragon and obtain its blood, it would be equivalent to collecting another ingredient for refining the 9-day nirvana creation elixir. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland and came to Kualei's side. Mo Qingyun appeared beside Kualei and put away the flying boat. He also sent Kualei to the Fortune mainland. After settling everything, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew towards the seven-headed azure flood dragon. In the process of flying towards the seven-headed green WYRM, Mo Qingyun saw many cultivators rushing forward excitedly. It is said that this seven-headed azure flood dragon is a desolate ancient species and contains a powerful divine beast bloodline. I also heard that it escaped from the extraterrestrial immortal prison and was once a demonic god during the desolate era. Rumor has it that the person who obtained the information about the seven-headed azure flood dragon was a law protector of the Dark Devil race. The Dark Devil race's members need a powerful bloodline source to plant their bloodline. They definitely won't let the seven-headed azure flood dragon go. The Dark Devil race is wreaking havoc on the Wasteland mainland. We absolutely cannot let them succeed. We must do everything in our power to stop their scheme. As Mo Qingyun flew towards the seven-headed azure flood dragon, some cultivators' conversations reached Mo Qingyun's ears. Hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious and his heart sank. I didn't expect the Dark Devil race to also come. It seems like it won't be easy to obtain the seven-headed azure flood dragon's blood. With a heavy heart, Mo Qingyun continued to fly toward the seven-headed green dragon. While Mo Qingyun was flying, he was also thinking about how he could snatch the seven-headed green WRM's blood from the Dark Demon race. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of surging waves could be heard not far ahead, attracting Mo Qingyun's attention. Hearing the loud noise coming from the front, Mo Qingyun immediately turned his head and saw a huge cyan dragon shadow. Around the cyan dragon shadow, there were figures flashing about at extreme speeds, constantly bombarding the cyan dragon shadow. Every single one of these figures that attacked possessed extremely formidable strength. All of them were at the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. As for the seven-headed azure WRM, it had already attained the peak of the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Mysterious Immortal Realm, and it could be considered to be at the 6th level of the 9 Heavens Mysterious Immortal Realm. As expected of a demon from the primordial era, his strength is not to be underestimated. After discovering the strength of the seven-headed green WRM, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious, and he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Facing such a powerful existence, it wasn't easy for him to deal with it unless he used all his trump cards. More importantly, there were many powerful cultivators around, which made him somewhat apprehensive. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he discovered that there seemed to be some hidden injuries on the seven-headed green WRM's body. I didn't expect this seven-headed green WRM to not be at its peak state. There are so many hidden injuries on its body. After discovering the injuries of the seven-headed green WRM, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He couldn't help but rejoice. Fortunately, this seven-headed green WRM isn't at its peak state. Otherwise, the difficulty of dealing with it wouldn't be just a little bit higher. In addition, what made Mo Qingyun even more surprised was the cruel environment of the overworld immortal prison. With the strength of the seven-headed green WRM, it was actually injured to such an extent in the overworld immortal prison. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the strength of each demon imprisoned in the overworld immortal prison was. Judging from a situation of the seven-headed green WRM, many of the demons imprisoned in the overworld immortal prison should be beyond the Saint Realm. As Mo Qingyun thought about it, he quickly gained a clear understanding of the strength of the demons in the outer realm immortal prison. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, he arrived below the seven-headed green WRM and stood behind a crowd of onlookers. This seven-headed green WRM is really powerful. It's not at a disadvantage even when fighting 1 against 9. Of course, in some ancient records, it's a famous seven-fiend evil WRM. The seven-headed green WRM is guarding outside the ancient Devil Hall. We can't enter the ancient Devil Hall at all. Everyone, don't worry about it. The ones who are really worried now are not us. Mo Qingyun stood at the back of the crowd, and the conversations of the people in front of him entered his ears one after another. Hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, and he looked around curiously. He hadn't expected that these people would attack the seven-headed green WRM for the ruins of the ancient Devil Hall. Mo Qingyun looked around and saw the entrance of a dilapidated palace at the foot of an inconspicuous mountain. Below the entrance of the palace was a boundless lake that seemed to drown the entrance of the ancient Devil Hall. The seven-headed green WRM swore to guard outside the ancient Devil Hall. This ancient Devil Hall is definitely not simple. Seeing the seven-headed green WRM's behavior, Mo Qingyun guessed that the ancient Devil Hall was definitely not simple. Mo Qingyun's interest in the ancient Demon Hall was piqued. Of course, Mo Qingyun was only interested in the ancient Devil Hall. His real goal was still the powerful seven-headed green WRM. He wanted to obtain some of its blood. After checking the entrance of the ancient devil hall, Mo Qingyun retracted his gaze and looked at the seven-headed green WYRM again. Facing the joint attack of the 9 powerful beings, the seven-headed green WYRM was gradually at a disadvantage despite its extraordinary strength. You despicable humans are still as despicable and shameless as ever. Facing the joint attack of the 9 powerful beings, the seven-headed green WYRM roared angrily, venting its unwillingness and anger. If it hadn't been severely injured, it would have easily gotten rid of these guys in front of it. Its current situation was just as the old saying had said. When a tiger goes down to the plains, it will be bullied by a dog. Seven Fiends, evil WYRM. You'd better surrender and return to the extraterrestrial immortal prison. In response to the seven-headed green WYRM's roar, the 9 people sneered, showing the disdain and mockery of the seven-headed green WYRM. Immediately, their attacks became even fiercer, causing the seven-headed green WYRM to be in even more danger. The 9 of you better remember this. I will definitely take revenge on you in the future. Seeing that it was in a bad situation, the seven-headed green WYRM didn't want to stay any longer. It immediately turned and fled into the distance. The 9 people didn't care about the seven-headed green WRM's ruthless words. The contempt on their faces deepened. However, they didn't chase after the seven-headed green WYRM, allowing it to escape into the distance. Chapter 1851. When Mo Qingyun was chasing after the seven-headed azure flood dragon, several figures appeared in front of him and also chased after the seven-headed azure flood dragon. The auras of these figures were very strong. Every single one of them wasn't weaker than the seven-headed azure flood dragon and was comparable to a 6th-level 9 heavens Xian immortal realm expert. These people are so strong. Sensing the aura of these people, Mo Qingyun was shocked in his heart, and his expression instantly became serious. With the strength of these people, it wouldn't be easy for Mo Qingyun to seize the seven-headed azure flood dragon's blood from their hands. With the strength of these people, it wouldn't be difficult for them to join forces and kill the seven-headed azure flood dragon. There must be something fishy about them not making a move all this time. Looking at these people in front of him, Mo Qingyun thought in his heart and felt that these people were up to no good. While Mo Qingyun was guessing the intentions of these people, he also knew the origins of these people and said in a deep voice, "If I'm not wrong, these people should be from the Dark Devil race. They're chasing after the seven-headed azure flood dragon because they want to obtain the seven-headed azure flood dragon's blood as the source of their bloodline." Although he knew the identity of these people in front of him, Mo Qingyun didn't give up the chase and continued to follow behind them. After chasing for about 10,000 miles, those people noticed Mo Qingyun and one of them stopped. This person stopped and blocked in front of Mo Qingyun, blocking Qingyun's path. Seeing that his path was blocked, Mo Qingyun also stopped and stood in the air, facing off against the man. He was very clear that he wouldn't be able to continue chasing if he didn't deal with this fellow before him. A mere robust soul stage kid actually dares to have designs on us. I think you're tired of living. That person looked at Mo Qingyun with a sinister smile on his face, and his gaze was like looking at a prey. Presumably, as far as he was concerned, killing an ant like Mo Qingyun was just a matter of moving his finger. Peak of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Although it's slightly difficult to deal with you, I can still challenge you. Looking at the fellow blocking his path, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly, and his body emitted a strand of battle intent. Up until now, he hadn't really fought someone at the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. The strength of this person before him wasn't too strong, so if he fought him, he might be able to test his strength. That person's calm. Seeing Mo Qingyun shake his head, the man's expression turned for the better. He immediately mocked Mo Qingyun. "Kid, at least you have some self-awareness. You know that resistance is useless." Mo Qingyun shook his head again, and his face revealed a mocking smile as he briefly explained his thoughts. Hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, that person was immediately enraged and shouted, "What an arrogant kid! Chu Qiong, want to see what you have to fight me." Meteor axe. Chu Qiong shouted angrily, took out a huge stone axe, and chopped it down towards Mo Qingyun's head. Chu Qiong waved the stone axe, and it immediately gathered a large amount of immortal spiritual energy, turning it into a huge axe head. The immortal spiritual energy formed the huge axe, and it crossed the sky and chopped down towards Mo Qingyun. Boom, boom, boom. Under the bombardment of the immortal spiritual energy huge axe, the void was immediately cut open, and a vacuum appeared. At first glance, it was as if the entire world was split open by his axe. Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid in the slightest when he saw the huge axe coming towards him. He raised his hand and punched forward. Saint Demon Star Shattering Fist. The wave-like Xianxing spiritual energy carried a monstrous demonic aura, and it quickly gathered around Mo Qingyun's body. In the blink of an eye, the Xianxing spiritual energy turned into the demon god shadow, and it enveloped Mo Qingyun within it. After the demon god shadow formed, it roared towards the sky and punched the huge axe. A small mountain-shaped black fist shadow blasted out from the demon god shadow's fist, and it collided with the immortal spiritual energy huge axe. Boom! A loud sound rang out, and it instantly reverberated between heaven and earth, causing the surrounding birds and beasts to flee. Under the impact of the black fist shadow, the immortal spiritual energy huge axe was blocked, and it was frozen in midair, unable to move an inch further. Crack, crack, crack. After the immortal spiritual energy huge axe was blocked, cracks appeared on it, and it slowly dissipated in midair. Not long after, the huge axe, which was thousands of meters long, turned into pure immortal spiritual energy. He blocked it. Seeing that his attack had been neutralized, Chu Qiong was shocked, and he couldn't help but open his mouth wide. He couldn't believe that a mere ant in the sturdy soul stage could so domineeringly neutralize his attack. While Chu Qiong was still in shock, the black fish shadow streaked across the sky like a meteor, and it came crashing down on him. Seeing the black fist shadow coming at him, Chu Qiong panicked, and he hurriedly retreated. Frenzied Tornado Axe. As Chu Qiong retreated, he quickly waved his hands and slashed out a storm of immortal spiritual energy. The storm of immortal spiritual energy blasted out, and it gathered together to form a tornado that covered the sky. Bang, bang, bang. The tornado swallowed the black fish shadow, and it madly collided with it, causing loud bangs. When the black fish shadow and the tornado collided, they began to consume each other, and finally, they were completely annihilated between heaven and earth. What a powerful attack! Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's punch, Chu Qiong was shocked again, and the way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed. At this moment, he finally stopped looking down on Mo Qingyun. He didn't dare to look down on him anymore. Although the kid in front of him didn't have a high cultivation level, his strength was strangely powerful. It could be said that he had never seen such a person before. He's only in the sturdy soul stage, but he has such powerful strength. His bloodline talent is definitely not simple. Chu Qiong stopped looking down on Mo Qingyun, and he began to look at Mo Qingyun seriously. He deduced Mo Qingyun's identity and said, "If I'm not wrong, his bloodline talent might be at the ancient class. In the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, there seems to be only one kid called Mo Qingyun whose bloodline talent has reached the ancient class." If Mo Qingyun heard Chu Qiong's deduction, he would definitely be shocked to the core by Mo Qingyun. This guy looked rough, but who would have thought that he was so meticulous? He could be considered a character. Kid, if I'm not wrong, the #1 genius of the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, Mo Qingyun, should be you, right? Chu Qiong guessed Mo Qingyun's identity, and he sneered. In comparison, Your bloodline is more precious than the seven-headed green dragon. If I can capture you, I'll have done a great service. It seems that I, Chu Qiong, am quite lucky. I don't think so. Chapter 1852. Emperor Seal, Killing Spirit Eyes. A gray soul power shot out from Mo Qingyun's left eye and turned into a strange imprint. The soul imprint flashed with gray light and turned into a gray stream of light that shot into Chu Qiong's sea of consciousness. Chu Qiong was stunned by the soul imprint's attack, and a pained expression appeared on his face. Puff! Chu Qiong's face turned pale as he spat out a mouthful of blood after being hit by the Emperor's seal kill spirit eye. As Chu Qiong spat out a mouthful of blood, he regained consciousness and a terrified expression appeared on his face. He didn't think that a person at the robust soul stage would have such a strong soul power. If an ordinary Nine Heavens Xian immortal stage expert wasn't skilled in soul cultivation, their soul power wouldn't be as strong as Mo Qingyun's. This kid is really not simple, as expected of the number 1 junior in the Heavenly Soul Devil clan. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength, Chu Qiong regarded Mo Qingyun with even more importance. At this time, he already regarded Mo Qingyun as someone on the same level and didn't dare to look down on Mo Qingyun. As expected of a Nine Heavens Xian immortal stage expert. A Nine Heavens Xian immortal stage expert can't compare to you. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but have a whole new level of respect for Chu Qiong when he saw that his Emperor Seal-killing spirit eyes was easily neutralized by Chu Qiong. A faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face as he sighed with emotion. The battle intent he emitted grew stronger as he said, "This is good too. The stronger you are, the more you can test my true strength." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned into an afterimage and charged towards Chu Qiong. After a few flashes, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Chu Qiong and blasted a palm at him. Demonic star, splitting palm. Immortal spiritual power that resembled a flood dragon quickly gathered in Mo Qingyun's palm. Soon, this immortal spiritual power enveloped Mo Qingyun and turned into a huge demon god shadow. When the demon god shadow was formed, under the control of Mo Qingyun's will, it struck down at Chu Qiong. A huge black palm blade shot out from the demon shadow's palm towards Chu Qiong's head. Dragon Axe Mystic Ice Shield. Chu Qiong didn't show any fear when he saw the huge palm blade approaching. He quickly raised the giant axe above his head. Raising the giant axe above his head, Chu Qiong spun the giant axe at an extremely fast speed, blasting out waves of dense, immortal spiritual energy. Immortal spiritual energy shot out from the giant axe and transformed into ice dragons that enveloped Chu Qiong. Soon, a bell formed by ice dragons enveloped Chu Qiong. Bang! Just as the ice dragon bell shield was formed, the black palm blade struck the ice shield, producing a crisp sound. The black palm blade slammed into the ice dragon bell shield and stopped in midair, unable to advance any further. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be shocked. He exclaimed, "What a powerful defensive ability! Even the demonic star, splitting palm, can't break it." As expected of an expert at the peak of the 5th level of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, Mo Qingyun said in surprise. He took a step back and put some distance between him and Chu Qiong. Swords rise. As Mo Qingyun waved his hand, more than 10 ancient swords appeared out of thin air and began to circle around Mo Qingyun. Soon, these 10 ancient swords formed a sharp formation and shot towards the ice dragon bell shield. Clang, clang, clang. Under the bombardment of the 10 ancient swords, some cracks appeared on the ice dragon bell shield, but it didn't explode. Seeing the cracks on the ice dragon bell shield, Chu Qiong didn't dare to hesitate and immediately swung the giant axe in his hand. Under Chu Qiong's swing, waves of threatening ice spiritual energy once again erupted from the giant axe. Next, the ice spiritual energy transformed into the image of a dragon and entered the ice dragon bell shield. Under the support of the ice dragon bell shield, the cracks on the ice dragon bell shield were quickly repaired. After repairing the cracks on the Ice Dragon Bell shield, Chu Qiong revealed a complacent sneer and said, Mo Qingyun, I have to admit that your talent and ability are very powerful. However, your cultivation is too low. This level of attack power can't do anything to me. In that case, I'll increase my attack power. When he heard Chu Qiong's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and summoned Kualei. When Chu Qiong saw Kualei appear, he first revealed a surprised expression, and then he mocked Mo Qingyun. I thought that the increase in attack power you spoke of was to execute a powerful ability. So you just found a helper, and it's even a 4th level 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. How laughable. Mo Qingyun didn't refute Chu Qiong's complacency and only smiled meaningfully. Gate of Fusion. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he executed the Gate of Fusion and fused with Kualei's strength. Soon, 2 gates of light appeared and enveloped Mo Qingyun and Kualei, merging them into one. As Mo Qingyun and Kualei merged into one, the aura emitted from Mo Qingyun's body quickly entered the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. When he sensed the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Chu Qiong was so shocked that his eyes widened. He didn't dare believe that this was real. Then, under Chu Qiong's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun's cultivation rose to the 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Chu Qiong's gaze was lifeless. He stood on the spot, without moving, as if he had been struck by a spell. Looking at the lifeless Chu Qiong, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened slightly. He swung his palm at Chu Qiong again. Mo Qingyun blasted out with his palm. Immortal spiritual energy erupted from his palm like a tsunami and transformed into a giant palm that covered the sky. Once the sky-covering palm was formed, it came crashing down on Chu Qiong with the force of a mountain. Crack! After being struck by Mo Qingyun's palm, the profound ice shroud around Chu Qiong immediately emitted a crisp sound. Then, the profound ice shroud shattered into pieces like a glass cup. Bang! After losing the protection of the profound ice shroud, Chu Qiong was immediately sent flying. He spat out a large amount of blood. Blood spurted from Chu Qiong's mouth and dyed his clothes red. He looked rather wretched. After sending Chu Qiong flying, Mo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry to attack again. He said indifferently, What do you think of the increase in my attack power now? You. Under Mo Qingyun's question, Chu Qiong's face immediately turned pale. He spat out another mouthful of blood. At this moment, a strong sense of humiliation began to grow in his heart. He didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, he wouldn't have the slightest ability to resist Mo Qingyun. Now, standing in front of Mo Qingyun, he was no different from a lamb on the chopping block. Since you have nothing to say, I can only send you on your way. Seeing that Chu Qiong didn't speak, Mo Qingyun didn't waste time talking nonsense with him. He raised his hand and blasted out another palm strike. Soon, an even more powerful palm shadow formed above Chu Qiong. Chapter 1853. After a short while, the dust settled and a large crater appeared on the ground. At this moment, Chu Qiong was like a pile of mud, lying motionless in the crater. Looking at Chu Qiong in the crater, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and quickly arrived beside Chu Qiong. Standing beside Chu Qiong, Mo Qingyun discovered that Chu Qiong's body no longer had the slightest bit of aura. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun's palm strike had already destroyed Chu Qiong's soul. Soul Summoning Gate. After killing Chu Qiong with a single palm strike, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and immediately converted Chu Qiong's soul. Chu Qiong was a peak 9th Heaven Xian Immortal Realm expert. If he could summon his soul, it would be a very powerful helper. A door of light in the shape of a reincarnation vortex quickly formed in front of Mo Qingyun, emitting a suction force. Very quickly, wisps of pure remnant souls were sucked into the soul summoning gate. The soul summoning gate converted the remnant souls, and gray figures walked out one after another. The auras of these gray figures varied in strength. The weakest were only in the true immortal realm, while the strongest were in the golden immortal realm. Looking at these ghosts, Mo Qingyun's expression didn't change at all. These weren't his target. His real target was the ghost converted from Chu Qiong's remnant soul. After about 15 minutes, a powerful aura came out from the gate of summoning. Enough! Sensing the aura coming from the soul summoning gate, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly and a faint smile appeared on his face. This ghost was formed from Chu Qiong's remnant soul. Seeing that the ghost formed from Chu Qiong's remnant soul had appeared, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and kept it on the Fortune mainland. After putting away the ghost that was transformed from Chu Qiong's remnant soul, Mo Qingyun looked into the distance and said, "I wonder if those fellows have killed the seven-headed green serpent." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned into a streak of light and chased after the seven-headed green flood dragon. They fled in this direction. Mo Qingyun chased after the seven-headed green Jiao dragon for a period of time. He identified the blood qi in the air and once again confirmed the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's direction. After confirming the direction in which the seven-headed green dragon had fled, Mo Qingyun sped up his pursuit. His figure directly turned into a light spot. After about the time it took to brew a cup of tea, under Mo Qingyun's pursuit, he saw an intense battle scene. The seven-headed green Jiao dragon was here. Judging from this battle, it should be caused by the seven-headed green Jiao dragon and the others. It seems that the seven-headed green Jiao dragon is still alive. Knowing that the seven-headed green serpent was still alive, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed and a bright smile appeared on his face. The seven-headed green Jiao dragon was not killed. If he wanted to get the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's blood, it would save him a lot of trouble. It didn't take long for Mo Qingyun's figure to arrive at the center of the battle. Why is this kid here? Didn't Chu Qiong kill this brat? Could it be that this brat has some kind of escape technique that allowed him to escape from Chu Qiong's pursuit? No matter what, this brat is a little strange. Let's kill him to prevent future trouble. Tian Healy, go and take care of this brat. We'll continue to deal with the seven-headed green Jiao dragon. When the Dark Devil clan saw Mo Qingyun suddenly appear, they were all surprised. Soon, a thin man came in front of Mo Qingyun. "Brat, I didn't expect you to escape from Chu Qiong's pursuit." When he came near Mo Qingyun, Tian Healy grinned and said in a mocking manner, "It's a pity that you don't know what's good for you. It wasn't easy for you to escape from Chu Qiong's pursuit, but you still came here to seek your own death." Hearing Tian Healy's words, Mo Qingyun only smiled indifferently and did not respond. Then, Mo Qingyun looked at the seven-headed green Jiao dragon. He saw that the seven-headed green Jiao dragon was covered in wounds and looked very miserable. Seeing Mo Qingyun looking at him, the seven-headed green Jiao dragon also noticed Mo Qingyun and said with a smile, "Brat, how about we make a deal? If you lure two people away from me, I, the green abyss Jiao dragon, will owe you a favor." In the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's opinion, Mo Qingyun was definitely not simple to be able to track them all the way to this place with his robust soul stage cultivation. Seven-headed green Jiao dragon, it seems that you're desperate and want this brat to save you. This brat is like a clay Buddha crossing a river. He can't even save himself. How can he save you? We'll still say the same thing. If you're willing to donate blood, we'll spare your life. As soon as the seven-headed green Jiao dragon finished speaking, the Dark Demon clan next to it immediately sneered at it. Hearing the Dark Demon clan's words, the seven-headed green Jiao dragon was immediately enraged. Its body twisted in the air and it urged, "Brat, we're now in the same boat. If you help me, you'll be helping yourself. Moreover, you'll get a favor from me. This is a sure-win deal." Hearing the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's anxious words, Mo Qingyun did not rush to answer. Instead, he thought about the Dark Demon clan's words. "I'm chasing the seven-headed green Jiao dragon mainly for its blood. I don't need to kill it personally." Thinking about the Dark Demon clan's words, Mo Qingyun immediately had a plan. He looked at the seven-headed green Jiao dragon with a smile and said, "Green Abyss Jiao Dragon, I'll give you a choice now. If you're willing to submit to me and give me some of your blood for me to refine pills, I'll drive these people away for you. How about it? You want me to submit to you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's body stiffened. It looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. It had never imagined that this ant-like brat would actually make such an outrageous request. Ha ha ha. This brat is interesting. He wants to take advantage of the situation. Seven-headed green Jiao dragon. Did you hear that? This brat also wants your blood. He doesn't have any good intentions. Think about it. Is it better to submit to a brat in the robust soul stage, or to work for our sacred ancestor darkness? Brat, based on what you just said, if you're willing to submit to me, I can spare your life. For a moment, the Dark Demon Clan's members all laughed loudly. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to the Dark Demon Clan's actions. He only looked at the seven-headed green Jiao dragon indifferently. At this moment, none of the three forces made a move. It seemed to be a stalemate. However, everyone knew that this stalemate would not last long. It would be broken soon. Although the seven-headed green Jiao dragon knew that the stalemate would not last long, it was very cunning. It took the opportunity to quietly recover from its injuries. Seeing the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's actions, Tian Healy's face turned cold. He said in a deep voice, "By Yang Yu, this evil creature is taking the opportunity to recover from its injuries. Don't waste your breath on it. Kill it immediately. As for this brat, you can ignore him." All right. Chapter 1854. As soon as Bai Yu and the others attacked, they suppressed the seven-headed green serpent, putting it in a perilous situation. Seeing the seven-headed green serpent's predicament, Mo Qingyun was in no hurry to intervene. He stood calmly where he was. Mo Qingyun's idea was simple. He wanted to keep the seven-headed green serpent alive, but it didn't matter if it didn't appreciate his kindness. To Mo Qingyun, the worst-case scenario was that the seven-headed green serpent was killed, and he would snatch its corpse. Bai Yu and the others weren't much stronger than Chu Qiong, so it wouldn't be difficult for him to deal with them if he used all his trump cards. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had no intention of attacking, Tian Alai also didn't attack Mo Qingyun. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a cold smile and said, "Kid, your potential isn't bad. If you're willing to submit, I'm willing to take you in as my dark immortal guard." Hearing Tian Alai's words, Mo Qingyun smiled contemptuously at him, his expression full of disdain and contempt. He just didn't want to attack, not because he was afraid of Tian Alai and the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun's behavior, Tian Alai's expression immediately turned ugly, feeling humiliated. Tian Alai's expression gradually turned cold. He clenched his teeth tightly and said savagely, "Kid, I was going to let you live a little longer, but since you're so eager to die, I won't be polite to you." As soon as Tian Alai finished speaking, he moved and pounced on Mo Qingyun. "Stop him!" Seeing that Tian Alai was coming at him, Mo Qingyun didn't even look at him. He just waved his hand at him. As Mo Qingyun waved his hand, a gray figure suddenly appeared in front of him. As soon as the gray figure appeared, it emitted a powerful aura that wasn't much weaker than Tian Alai's. Chu Qiong. Seeing the ghost in front of Mo Qingyun, Tian Alai was shocked and his mind went blank. Chu Qiong, who had gone to kill Mo Qingyun, had turned into a ghost and seemed to be obeying Mo Qingyun's orders. Tian Alai was an expert at the peak of the 5th level of the Nine Heavens' profound immortal realm after all. So after a short period of panic and absent-mindedness, he thought of a possibility. Chu Qiong might have been killed by Mo Qingyun. You killed Chu Qiong. Although he had guessed this possibility, Tian Alai still found it hard to accept. He couldn't believe it was true. One had to know that the difference between Mo Qingyun and Chu Qiong's cultivation level was extremely huge. You did. The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up in response to Tian Alai's question as he looked at Tian Alai calmly. After being asked by Mo Qingyun, Tian Helai's expression immediately trembled. He knew that his guess was correct. Chu Qiong had indeed been killed by Mo Qingyun. After learning that Mo Qingyun had killed Chu Qiong, Tian Helai looked at Mo Qingyun with intense fear. Chu Qiong's strength was about the same as his, but he had died for no reason. This was too abnormal. While Tian Helai was feeling apprehensive, Chu Qiong's ghost pounced on him and fought with him. The battle between Chu Qiong's ghost and Tian Helai immediately caused a huge commotion and attracted the attention of Bai Yangyu and the others. Chu Qiong? No, that's Chu Qiong's ghost. Could Chu Qiong have been killed? What's going on? Why is Chu Qiong's ghost fighting with Tian Helai? Could it be that there's a Soul Dao expert hiding behind this kid? Regardless, everyone be careful. Quickly kill the seven-headed green serpent and leave this place. For a moment, Bai Yangyu and the others tensed up. They were extremely fearful of Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, a person who could kill Chu Qiong was worthy of their caution. Moreover, there was still the seven-headed green serpent in front of them. They cannot afford to be careless. This kid has a helper. Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, the seven-headed green serpent was shocked. Its 7 pairs of eyes quickly darted around. Judging from its behavior, it seemed to be weighing whether to submit to Mo Qingyun. It knew very well that if it fell into the hands of the dark demons, it would suffer a fate worse than death. However, if it submitted to Mo Qingyun, the outcome might be different. At the very least, it would not be endlessly drained of blood. Judging from the current situation, if Mo Qingyun did not help it, it would definitely be captured and killed by the dark demons. I'll fool this kid for a while. When the danger is over, I'll think of a way to escape. The seven-headed azure flood dragon thought for a while. Then it turned its head to look at Mo Qingyun and said, "Master, I am willing to submit to you. Please save me." Hearing the seven-headed green serpent's words, Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised. He did not expect the seven-headed green serpent to submit so easily. Looking at the seven-headed green serpent not far away, Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently and said unhurriedly, "There's no hurry. Open up your sea of consciousness first. It won't be too late for me to deal with them after I plant a soul imprint on you." Plant a soul imprint. Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, the seven-headed green serpent's 14 eyes darted around quickly. It immediately thought of something and said, "Even if a soul imprint is planted on me, he still can't do anything to me when I give up one of my heads." The seven-headed green serpent pondered for a while and made a decision. It opened up its sea of consciousness. Condense. Knowing that the seven-headed green serpent had opened up its sea of consciousness, Mo Qingyun's left eye flashed with a gray light, and waves of soul spiritual power blasted out. These waves of soul spiritual power blasted out and turned into 7 soul imprints, which blasted into the seven-headed green serpent's heads. 7 soul imprints. While the seven-headed green serpent was startled, soul imprints were planted in the sea of consciousness of its 7 heads. Realizing that all 7 of its heads had been planted with soul imprints, the seven-headed green serpent immediately lowered its heads and was dumbfounded. This time, it had lifted a rock only to drop it on its own feet. It never thought that Mo Qingyun would be so ruthless and directly condense 7 soul imprints. It also did not expect that Mo Qingyun's speed of condensing soul imprints would reach such an astonishing speed. His eyes. Recalling Mo Qingyun's eyes just now, the seven-headed green serpent's heart trembled, and a strong sense of fear rose in it. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, the seven-headed green serpent immediately felt its heart palpitate, as if its blood had stopped flowing. "Master, please fulfill your promise, and ask the expert behind you to attack." Seeing that its life and death was already in Mo Qingyun's hands, the seven-headed green serpent accepted the reality. Hearing the seven-headed green serpent's words, Mo Qingyun nodded indifferently and said, "Step aside first. I'll take care of them." "Master, Are you not going to ask the expert behind you to attack? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the seven-headed green serpent's expression froze, and it could not wrap its head around it for a long time. Looking at Mo Qingyun's posture, it seemed that he intended to take care of Bai Yongyu and the others himself. I'll deal with them myself. In response to the seven-headed green serpent's doubts, Mo Qingyun did not explain and replied indifferently. Chapter 1855. Door of Fusion. Two doors of light suddenly appeared above the ghost formed by Mo Qingyun and Chu Qiong's remnant soul and enveloped them. The door of light enveloped them and began to fuse the two of them, allowing the two of them to become one. After fusing with the ghost formed by Chu Qiong's remnant soul, Mo Qingyun's aura began to rise rapidly. In just a short moment, Mo Qingyun's aura reached the peak of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Peak of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, the seven-headed green serpent immediately exclaimed, and its 7 pairs of eyes widened. After calming down the shock in its heart, the seven-headed green serpent exclaimed, "What a terrifying ability! With this ability, one can fight above their level without any restrictions." While the seven-headed green serpent was shocked, Bai Yongyu and the others also widened their eyes. What ability is this? How can it be so heaven-defying? No wonder Chu Qiong was killed by him. So he was hiding such an ability. Everyone, don't be afraid. Although this kid's ability is heaven-defying, there's a limit to how much he can improve. That's right. Even if he improves to the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm, we can still deal with him. Tianhe Lai and the others exclaimed before regaining their calm. They stared coldly at Mo Qingyun. Looking at Tianhe Lai and the others, Mo Qingyun's left eye flashed with a gray light and shot out 6 gray lights at the same time. Imperial Seal Spirit Eyes. The 6 gray lights turned into 6 seals and blasted into the consciousness of Tianhe Lai and the others. After being attacked by the Imperial Seal Spirit Eyes, Tianhe Lai and the others' bodies stiffened and revealed a painful expression. Then Tianhe Lai and the others seemed to have been petrified and stood still on the spot. Demonic Star Splitting Palm. After using the eye attack on Tianhe Lai and the others, Mo Qingyun's attack did not stop as he slapped his palm towards them. Under Mo Qingyun's palm, a wave of profound, clear spiritual energy quickly gathered on Mo Qingyun's palm. The terrifying Xianxing spiritual power blasted out like a gathering of dark clouds, turning into a huge black palm. When the giant black palm formed, it crushed down on Tianhe Lai and the others with the force of Mount Tai. Bang, bang, bang. Under the bombardment of the giant black palm, Tian Healy and the others could not even resist and were blasted away. When Tianhe Lai and the others were sent flying, they all spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their faces were as pale as paper. At this moment, Tianhe Lai and the others slowly regained their consciousness. This person is very strong. Let's retreat. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's terrifying strength, Bai Yongyu gritted his teeth and instructed Tian Healy and the others. After Bai Yongyu finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and immediately turned around to flee. "Get back here!" Seeing that Bai Yongyu and the others were about to escape, Mo Qingyun stretched out his arm and grabbed at the void in front of him. With a wave of Mo Qingyun's arm, the giant black palm that blasted Bai Yongyu and the others away grabbed at them again. Facing the giant black palm, Bai Yongyu and the others were still unable to resist and were caught by the giant black palm. Then, Bai Yongyu and the others were captured by the giant black palm and brought to Mo Qingyun. So strong. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the seven-headed green dragon was so frightened that his body trembled. His eyes were filled with fear as he said to himself, "This is too terrifying." He can actually control the external force so skillfully. In the seven-headed green dragon's knowledge, it was usually difficult to control the external force that was borrowed. Mo Qingyun's current situation was the exact opposite of what he had expected. He did not feel unfamiliar with it at all. You? What are you trying to do? After being captured and brought to Mo Qingyun, Bai Yongyu and the others were terrified and asked in a panicked tone. Hearing Bai Yongyu and the others' questions, Mo Qingyun glanced at the seven-headed green dragon and said, "Green Abyss Flood Dragon, these guys have a grudge with you. Now, I'll let you deal with them." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he controlled the giant black palm and destroyed the cultivation of Bai Yongyu and the others. Puff, puff, puff. After Bai Yongyu and the others' cultivation was destroyed, they immediately spat out blood, and their auras rapidly dissipated. After a while, Bai Yongyu and the others' auras became the same as ordinary people's. You guys didn't expect that you would end up in my hands in the end, did you? Looking at Bai Yongyu and the others whose cultivation was destroyed, the seven-headed green dragon laughed sinisterly and swayed his 7 heads continuously. After letting out a proud sentence, the seven-headed green dragon waved his 7 heads and bit at Bai Yongyu and the others. After a while, Bai Yongyu and the others were devoured by the 7-headed green dragon, and there was not even a trace of them left. Soul Beckoning Gate. Seeing that Bai Yongyu and the others were killed, Mo Qingyun executed the Soul Beckoning Gate and converted their remnant souls. Soon, a ghost at the peak of the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Xian immortal realm walked out of the Soul Beckoning Gate. These ghosts, looking at the ghost that came out of the Soul Beckoning Gate, the 7-headed green dragon's eyes narrowed and his body couldn't help but tremble. It turned out that the ghost that was formed by Chu Qiong's remnant soul was created by Mo Qingyun in this way. Let's go. After converting the remnant souls of Bai Yongyu and the others, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste any time and signaled to the 7-headed green dragon. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the 7-headed green dragon immediately responded and left with Mo Qingyun. After Mo Qingyun left with the 7-headed green dragon, he rushed over to the ancient devil palace. Mo Qingyun thought to himself that the 7-headed green dragon was protecting the ancient devil palace. Its origin must be extraordinary. 7-headed green dragon, do you know what kind of secret lies in the ancient devil palace? On the way to the ancient devil palace, Missouri Qingyun revealed a curious expression and asked the 7-headed green dragon. The 7-headed green dragon didn't dare to hide anything from Mo Qingyun's question and immediately reported to Mo Qingyun. According to the information I gathered, the origin of the ancient devil palace should be a branch of the dark devil race. A branch of the dark devil race? Hearing the 7-headed green dragon's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked and developed a strong interest in the ancient devil palace. He said, "The whereabouts of the dark devil race has always been mysterious. This ancient devil palace is a branch of the dark devil race. There should be many secrets in it." With this thought, Mo Qingyun rode on the 7-headed green dragon and quickly rushed to the ancient devil palace. About half an hour later, Mo Qingyun arrived in the vicinity of the ancient devil palace on the 7-headed green dragon's back. Looking at the ancient devil palace not far away, Mo Qingyun was in no hurry to enter. He looked at the 7-headed green dragon beside him and said, "The commotion you caused just now was too big. If you appear again, it might cause unnecessary trouble. I'll send you to a place first." Without waiting for the 7-headed green dragon's reply, Mo Qingyun sent the 7-headed green dragon to Fortune Mainland. Chapter 1856. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived outside the ancient devil hall. At this moment, there was no one outside the ancient devil hall. Everyone had entered the ancient devil hall. Seeing that everyone had entered the ancient devil hall, Mo Qingyun did not stop and immediately flew into the ancient devil hall. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the ancient devil hall, he realized that it was a different world. It was like an independent small world. No wonder the dark demon race hid so well. A small division is like an independent world. Seeing the interior of the ancient devil hall, Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh. He had a higher opinion of the dark demon race. Even a Saint Realm expert would not be able to set up such a small world. The dark demon race is indeed not ordinary. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. His expression tensed up as he quickly walked into the ancient devil hall. As Mo Qingyun went deeper into the ancient devil hall, he realized that there were many strange castles in the ancient devil hall. There were stone statues carved on the top of these castles. Some were in the shape of monsters, while others were in the shape of humans. 100 Fierce Battle Lion Tribe, Stone Elephant Scorching Flame Tribe, Purple Jade Phoenix Tribe. When he saw the statues on the ancient castles, Mo Qingyun recognized the tribes they represented one by one. Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed slightly when he recognized the statues on the castles. He began to ponder silently. If I'm not wrong, the people of various races should have been imprisoned in these castles. They were the source of the dark demon race's bloodline. With that thought in mind, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and flew toward those ancient castles. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of one of the castles and saw some people who had come to explore. Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to these people. He walked into the castle by himself. The space inside the ancient castle was not large. Many ancient formations were set up, and they emitted a dim light. These formations looked like the ones in Ko Kuin's Mansion No. 9 at the Demon River. Looking at the array formations in front of him, Mo Qingyun immediately felt a sense of familiarity. He knew the function of these array formations. After understanding the purpose of these formations, Mo Qingyun frowned and carefully walked into the castle. In the process of going deeper into the castle, Mo Qingyun saw some skeletons. They were all trapped by a strange taboo. These corpses all belonged to the 100 Fierce Battle Lion clan. They were imprisoned here. They should have been used by the Dark Devil clan to extract their blood. Looking at the skeletons on the ground, Mo Qingyun understood and immediately deduced the purpose of the skeletons. Judging from these skeletons, his guess should not be wrong. Moving his gaze away from the skeleton, Mo Qingyun looked towards the interior of the ancient castle and continued to explore the interior of the ancient castle. Not long after, Mo Qingyun came to a secret room and saw some bottles of different sizes. These bottles all contained some blood that was emitting a scorching heat. Through Mo Qingyun's senses, he discovered that there was a clear difference between the grades of the blood in these bottles. Some were 5 or 6 stars, some were 7 or 8 stars, and the best ones were quasi-monarch. If my guess is correct, the blood in these bottles should belong to the 100 Fierce Battle Lion clan. Observing the blood in front of him, Mo Qingyun's heart shook. He knew the origin of this blood. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He did not think too much about it and began to collect the blood. Although the grade of the blood was not high, it was good for refining pills. It was a relatively rare pill material. While Mo Qingyun was collecting the blood, he discovered that some array formations had been set up on the outside of these bottles. After discovering these formation restrictions, Mo Qingyun did not hold back and immediately began to break them. Bang, bang, bang. Under Mo Qingyun's actions, deafening sounds came from these formation restrictions. Because Mo Qingyun's movements were not small, it quickly attracted many people to come and collect the blood. Mo Qingyun did not pay much attention to the appearance of these people. He minded his own business and attacked the formation restrictions. Although the blood of the 100 Fierce Battle Lion clan was rare, it was not too precious. It was not difficult to obtain it. Therefore, Mo Qingyun did not want to cause unnecessary trouble because of this. After that, everything was peaceful. Everyone worked hard to collect the blood. When Mo Qingyun was collecting the blood, a light flashed in his mind. He thought of a very important piece of information. That's right. Since this is the Dark Devil clan's branch, there are remnants of blood from many clans. I wonder if the blood of the 9 great sages exists. If he could find the blood of the 9 great sages here, it would be much easier for him to refine the Nirvana creation pill. When this thought appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun increased his strength and tried to break the formation restrictions faster. Not long after, Mo Qingyun broke the formation restrictions and collected some of the higher grade blood. After collecting the blood, Mo Qingyun could not wait to leave this ancient castle. To him, no matter how precious the blood of the 100 fierce Battle Lion clan was, it was not even 1/10,000th of the 9 great sages' blood. It didn't take long for Mo Qingyun to leave the castle, and he quickly walked into another castle. In the other ancient castles, Mo Qingyun found some more blood that was sealed in some forbidden formations. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not stand on ceremony and immediately broke the formation restrictions. In the following time, Mo Qingyun wandered around the various ancient castles. He broke the formation restrictions and collected blood while collecting information about the 9 great sages' blood. Unfortunately, the 9 great sages' blood was too precious. Mo Qingyun went to over 100 ancient castles, but did not find any information about the 9 great sages' blood. Not to mention the 9 great sages' blood, even the blood of the top 10 clans on the 10,000 Archean triboard was nowhere to be found. It seems like there is only the blood of some ordinary clans in this Dark Demon Clans division. After a round of investigation and searching, Mo Qingyun made a decision. He did not have any hope for the 9 great sages' blood. Although he did not have any hope for the 9 great sages' blood, Mo Qingyun did not stay idle and continued to collect blood from the various clans. Just like this, Mo Qingyun spent a few days to go around all the ancient castles. Boom, boom, boom. When Mo Qingyun went around all the ancient castles and was about to leave the ancient demon's hall, a loud sound attracted his attention. Hearing the sound from afar, Mo Qingyun was shocked and flew towards the source of the sound curiously. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the source of the sound and saw a group of people gathered there. These people were all using all their strength to attack a huge, colorful light screen. Seeing these people's actions, Mo Qingyun was curious and released a strand of soul power. Behind this light screen, there seems to be some ancient castles. Could it be that they have collected high-grade blood? Mo Qingyun felt joy in his heart when he sensed the multicolored light screen. He felt a strong sense of anticipation. Chapter 1857. With anticipation in his heart, Mo Qingyun flew towards the multicolored light curtain and arrived behind the crowd. Looking at the multicolored light curtain that was constantly being bombarded, Mo Qingyun noticed that its color had obviously dimmed. Judging from the current situation, it would not be long before the multicolored light curtain was destroyed. Seeing that the multicolored light curtain had dimmed, the crowd immediately tensed up and prepared to charge into the multicolored light curtain. Bang! Under everyone's gaze, the multicolored light curtain emitted a loud noise and released a dazzling light. Then, the light dimmed bit by bit and finally disappeared completely. Seeing that the multicolored light curtain had disappeared, everyone's figure flashed and rushed behind the multicolored light curtain. Seeing everyone's actions, Mo Qingyun's footsteps didn't stop as he followed behind them. Soon, everyone arrived behind the multicolored light curtain and explored the ancient castle behind it. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, a series of violent crashing sounds came from outside the ancient castles. Those who had rushed to the ancient castles were all sent flying by the restrictions. Their faces were filled with astonishment. It turned out that there were powerful restrictions set up at the entrance of the ancient castles. Seeing the restrictions at the entrance of the ancient castles, everyone's expression immediately tensed up. They did not dare to barge into the ancient castles. Then, without hesitation, they attacked the restrictions outside the ancient castles. Boom, boom, boom. As everyone attacked the restrictions, a series of deafening noises came from outside the ancient castles. To everyone's surprise, as they attacked the ancient castles collapsed one after another. Not long after, these ancient castles became a pile of ruins, becoming a messy place. As the ancient castles collapsed, the treasures inside the ancient castles appeared one after another. A quasi-saint longbow with 9 quasi-saint long arrows. The combination of the bow and arrows is comparable to a saint weapon. This is a saint weapon short knife. It has an additional effect on assassination. What a powerful saint aura. This phoenix feather fan must be a saint weapon. Seeing the weapons that appeared in the ancient castle, everyone's expression became excited. Their eyes were filled with greed. Soon after, everyone seemed to have gone mad as they madly attacked and destroyed the formation outside the ancient castle. Judging from the situation before us, these ancient castles should be used by the Dark Demon Clan for cultivation. Looking at the powerful weapons, Mo Qingyun was not in a hurry to snatch them. Instead, he guessed at the function of these castles. After knowing the purpose of these castles, Mo Qingyun was a bit disappointed, and his interest in the castles decreased a lot. To him, no matter how powerful a saint weapon was, it was not as precious as the blood of the 9 saints. It seems that collecting the 9 great sacred blood, even if it is just a substitute for the 9 great sacred blood, will not be an easy task. Thinking of the rarity of the 9 saint bloodlines, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. His gaze swept across the castles as he thought to himself, although there is no blood in these castles, it would be a pity to miss out on a saint-grade weapon. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He looked around, wanting to snatch that weapon. Master, quickly go and snatch that scroll. That scroll is not simple. Just as Mo Qingyun was thinking, an anxious voice appeared in his mind. This was the King Devourer's reminder. Okay. Hearing the King Devourer's reminder, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment, then flew to a castle in the corner. Because this castle was in the corner, and because there were no powerful weapons inside, no one paid attention to it. When Mo Qingyun arrived in front of this ancient castle, no one paid attention to him, as if he was invisible. Mo Qingyun was happy to see such a situation. He could focus on attacking the formation without worry. Demonic Star Splitting Palm. Mo Qingyun blasted out a palm, and a terrifying amount of immortal spiritual energy immediately gathered in his palm. Soon, a giant palm with an imposing aura blasted out from Mo Qingyun's palm. Bang! The giant palm slammed into the formation, and immediately a loud sound was heard, causing the formation to shake continuously. However, the formation only shook for a moment, then it returned to normal. Seeing that the formation had returned to normal, Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to it, and continued to attack the formation. Under Mo Qingyun's continuous attacks, the formation shook more and more violently, and the signs of collapse became more and more obvious. Seeing such a scene, Mo Qingyun's attacks became fiercer, and he attacked the formation with even more force. Boom! While Mo Qingyun was bombarding the array formation, one of the ancient castle's array formations was broken, and an intense storm of spiritual energy erupted out. The formation of this ancient castle was broken, and the people around the castle immediately flew to the treasures inside the castle. Seeing these people's actions, a young man with a golden crown outside the castle immediately smiled contemptuously. Ah, 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 ah. When the young man with the golden crown showed his contempt, the people who flew into the castle immediately screamed. Then, they were pierced by rays of sword radiance and were killed on the spot. After the sword radiance killed these people, it entered a small golden sword and strengthened the small golden sword's aura. A bunch of idiots, the Dragon Luck sword is not so easy to obtain. Looking at the people who were killed in front of him, the young man with the golden crown curled his lips in disdain, and he quickly waved his arms. When a young man with the golden crown waved his arms, a golden dragon shadow burst out from his body. Devour. When the golden dragon shadow appeared, the young man with the golden crown waved his arms and controlled it to devour the void. Under the golden dragon shadow's devouring, rays of golden light were swallowed into the golden dragon shadow's body. After devouring the golden light, the golden dragon shadow's aura immediately became several times stronger. This increase in aura was different from an increase in cultivation, and it was like a strengthening of one's body and bloodline. Capture. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, the The young man with the golden crown raised his hand and controlled the golden dragon shadow to capture the small golden sword. Under the grasp of the golden dragon shadow, the small golden sword resisted for a moment before it was taken away by the golden dragon shadow. No wonder he's the all-yun dragon son of the all-yun dragon palace. His skills are extraordinary. Lu Qingfeng's strength is already strong, and now that he has obtained the small saint weapon, his strength must be even more terrifying. Don't think too much. Quickly break the formation before Lu Qingfeng snatches it away. Seeing Lu Qingfeng's action, everyone's face was filled with fear, and their hands moved faster. Fate? While everyone was panicking, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly, and his gaze towards the young man with the golden crown changed slightly. Lu Qingfeng's natal superpower seems to be absorbing the fate of others to increase his own. This is a rare superpower. Chapter 1858. Although your cultivation level isn't high, I can sense a powerful fate from you. Looking at Mo Qingyun, Lu Qingfeng revealed a faint smile with greed in his eyes. He said, although it's said that the stronger one's fate is, the greater one's future achievements will be. But sometimes, having too much fate isn't necessarily a good thing. Since having too much fate isn't a good thing, why do you still want to devour others' fate? Aren't you afraid that you'll die from eating too much? Mo Qingyun's expression was calm. He spoke in a very casual tone, as if he was chatting with an old friend. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lu Qingfeng couldn't help but frown. He was slightly surprised by Mo Qingyun's behavior. Logically speaking, Mo Qingyun should be panicking when he made it so clear. With his cultivation level at the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, he was absolutely not someone that Mo Qingyun could contend against. Mo Qingyun could only be devoured by him and become a mediocre person. Although I don't know why you're so confident, it's useless. Lu Qingfeng's face grew colder and colder. The greed in his heart was revealed without any disguise. He said, like I said, sometimes it's not a good thing to have too much luck. If you didn't have a strong luck, you wouldn't have attracted my attention. I don't think so. Mo Qingyun shook his head and disagreed with Lu Qingfeng's words. He said calmly, perhaps your fate is too strong, so it made you notice me and caused you to fall into a potential danger. As Mo Qingyun spoke, his hands didn't stop moving. He continued to attack the ancient castle's formation restriction. Crack! A clear sound was heard. Under Mo Qingyun's continuous attacks, the formation restriction outside the ancient castle finally showed signs of shattering. The formation restriction is about to collapse. Seeing that the formation restriction was about to shatter, Mo Qingyun's expression was filled with joy. His hands moved even more fiercely. Under Mo Qingyun's fierce attacks, the formation restriction outside the ancient castle finally couldn't withstand the heavy blows and exploded. Broken. Seeing that the restriction formation outside the ancient castle had been broken, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed and immediately flew into the castle. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed as he arrived beside the mysterious scroll. He raised his hand and put it away. Mo Qingyun's behavior immediately infuriated Lu Qingfeng. While confronting him, this brat actually dared to divert his attention to steal the treasures in the castle. Brat, you're courting death. Lu Qingfeng's face darkened. He shouted angrily and stopped talking to Mo Qingyun. Soaring dragon of heavenly fate. Lu Qingfeng waved his arms like an eagle spreading its wings. Dazzling golden light burst out from his body. Soon, the golden light transformed into a dragon shadow and pounced towards Mo Qingyun. Roar! The golden dragon image let out a low roar as it emitted a powerful dragon aura, causing people to involuntarily feel fear. Soon, the dragon image arrived above Mo Qingyun and slapped down with its claw. As the golden dragon image stretched out its claw, it blasted out a golden light that carried a powerful, devouring force. Saint Demon's Star Shattering Fist. Facing the golden dragon image's attack, Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid at all. Instead of retreating, he threw out a punch. The immortal spiritual power with monstrous demonic aura gathered like a storm and formed a huge demonic shadow. Roar! The demonic shadow stood behind Mo Qingyun. With an angry roar, it leaped into the air and flew out like an arrow. As the demonic shadow flew, the light in the sky dimmed as if night was coming. Bang! The demonic shadow's body flashed a few times and arrived in front of the golden dragon image. It punched the dragon image's head. When the demonic shadow's fist landed on the golden dragon image's head, a terrifying shockwave burst out and swept across the surrounding void. At this moment, a wave seemed to have appeared in midair, affecting the entire void. What a powerful divine ability. Where did this kid come from? This kid's combat strength is almost comparable to a 9th Heaven Xian immortal 5th level expert. No wonder he's not afraid of Lu Qingfeng. He has such terrifying strength. Although this kid is strong, it'll be difficult for him to defeat Lu Qingfeng. Watching the battle between Mo Qingyun and the demonic shadow, the people around them sighed and admired Mo Qingyun. Crack, crack, crack. Under everyone's gaze, cracks appeared on the golden dragon image's body. Then, the golden dragon image dissipated and turned into a ball of pure fortune energy. Master, this ball of fortune energy is useful to me. Please let me devour and refine it. When Mo Qingyun defeated the golden dragon image, the King Devourer's excited words appeared in his mind. Upon hearing the sky-devouring mermaid ruler's words, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before summoning the sky-devouring mermaid ruler. Devour heaven and earth. When the sky-devouring mermaid empress appeared beside Mo Qingyun, she formed a hand seal and performed her natural mystique. A huge black mouth appeared above the King Devourer as if it had traveled through the void. The huge mouth released a powerful suction force and devoured the fortune energy formed by the golden dragon image. Burp! After devouring a large amount of fortune energy, the King Devourer burped and looked very naughty. Mo Qingyun was helpless about the King Devourer's actions. This guy was becoming more and more unconcerned about his image. Seeing his fortune energy being devoured, Lu Qingfeng was furious. He glared at Mo Qingyun and gritted his teeth. Kid, the merfolk once harmed several civilizations on the wasteland continent. How dare you keep a merfolk by your side? Aren't you afraid of being hunted down by thousands of races? So what if I keep a merfolk? I think your race should be wiped out. Mo Qingyun smiled carelessly at Lu Qingfeng's question. He said with a mocking expression, your race increases your strength by devouring other people's fortune energy. This is a completely bandit behavior. It's not much better than the dark demon race. Lu Qingfeng's expression immediately turned ugly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. His expression immediately became tense. The cultivation method of the heavenly fate dragons was indeed often compared to the dark demon race. They were ostracized and viewed with hostility by many races. If it weren't for the fact that the heavenly fate dragons kept a low profile, they would have been wiped out by countless races long ago. Yeah, the heavenly fate dragons devour other people's fortune energy. It's no different from the dark demon race. The dark demon race only takes the blood of those with great talent. They won't harm ordinary people. In comparison, the heavenly fate dragons seem even more despicable. They won't even let ordinary people go. That's right. The heavenly fate dragons must be wiped out. They should be treated the same as the dark demon race. After Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's hatred for the heavenly fate dragons instantly rose to the extreme. Chapter 1859. Brat, you win. Our debt is not over yet. Lu Qingfeng was about to turn around and run away after saying those words. Seeing Lu Qingfeng trying to escape, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He reached out to grab Lu Qingfeng and said, you can go, but you have to leave behind the divine weapon bow and arrows. Mo Qingyun stretched out his palm. A terrifying immortal spiritual power immediately gathered on his palm. A huge black palm formed above Lu Chengfeng and grabbed at him. Facing Mo Qingyun's palm, Lu Chengfeng dared not be careless. He immediately raised his hand and punched. The golden power of fate quickly turned into a fist shadow and collided with the huge black palm. Bang! A loud noise was heard. Hit by the golden fist shadow, the attack of the huge black palm was blocked and stopped above Lu Chengfeng. Seeing Lu Chengfeng block it, King Devourer smiled joyfully and quickly flew toward Lu Chengfeng. Devour the heavens and earth. Not far from Lu Chengfeng, King Devourer used his superpower to devour the power of fate that Lu Chengfeng had blasted out. Soon, a huge fish mouth formed above the sky-devouring mermaid emperor. The huge fish mouth released an amazing devouring power and absorbed the power of fate that Lu Chengfeng had blasted out. Soon, the huge golden fist formed by the power of fate was devoured by King Devourer. Seeing this, Lu Chengfeng was shocked. He was a little afraid of Mo Qingyun. In a short fight, just now, he found that some of Mo Qingyun's methods seemed to be able to restrain him. Boom! While Lu Chengfeng was in a panic, two loud noises came from outside the castle next to him. Another two castles had their formation restrictions forcibly broken by someone. After these two formation taboos were broken, the weapons stored in the castle immediately emitted fierce auras. Among these weapons, two of them had extremely powerful auras. Judging from the aura of the two weapons, even if they were not true sacred artifacts, they were still weapons with power comparable to sacred artifacts. The movements of the two castles immediately attracted everyone's attention. They all turned their heads to look in that direction. Zhou Ji of the Heaven-Reaching Devil Clan has destroyed the forbidden formation of the ancient castle. That old demon Yellow Wind also destroyed the castle's formation restriction. The two of them are already very strong. Now that they have obtained a sacred artifact, their strength will surely grow even stronger. That might not be the case. Even if they have sacred artifacts, they won't be of much use if they haven't refined them. Everyone was envious of Zhou Wei and the other man's performance. Their eyes were filled with fear. Zhou Wei and Lu Chengfeng ignored the fear of the people around them and quickly flew toward Lu Chengfeng. Zhou Wei came to Lu Chengfeng's side. A gloomy smile appeared on his wrinkled old face. He said, "Young Master Lu, for the sake of our acquaintance, if you hand over the divine longbow and arrows on your own initiative, I will not make things difficult for you. Boy from the heavenly fate dragon tribe, I don't want the divine longbow and arrows. I only want the fortune origin crystal." After Zhou Wei spoke, the yellow-robed old man beside him also revealed a gloomy smile. For the heavenly fate dragon tribe, the most fundamental thing for their cultivation was the fortune origin crystal mentioned by the yellow-robed old man. Although the heavenly fate dragon tribe would still be able to cultivate after losing the fortune origin crystal, they would have to start all over again. To the heavenly fate dragon tribe, this was crueler than killing them. "The two of you don't go too far." Lu Chengfeng's face darkened when he heard Zhou Wei and the other man's request. He wanted nothing more than to skin them alive. These two old farts were clearly taking advantage of the situation and adding insult to injury. If not for their fear of Mo Qingyun, they would have already attacked the two old farts and devoured their fortune. As Zhou Wei and the other man spoke, they did not look at Mo Qingyun at all. It was as if Mo Qingyun was invisible. Mo Qingyun did not pay much attention to Zhou Wei and the other man's actions. He looked as if he was watching a good show. Seeing that Mo Qingyun did not interrupt, Zhou Wei and the other man's expressions turned slightly better. They then threatened Lu Chengfeng. "Young Master Lu, your cultivation talent is outstanding. You still have a lot of time in the future. Don't lose the big picture for the small things." "That's right." After hearing Zhou Wei's words, the yellow wind old demon smiled faintly and nodded. He said, "I have just returned to the wasteland continent and do not want to start massacre. I hope young Master Lu will not force me to break my vow." Old demon Zhou Wei, old demon Huangfeng, the two of you have gone too far. Under Zhou Wei and the other man's aggression, Lu Chengfeng's expression twisted. He glanced at Mo Qingyun darkly. Then, Lu Chengfeng took out the Saint Bao and arrows and tossed them to Mo Qingyun. He said, "Kid, I'll give you the Saint Bao and arrows. I hope you can keep your promise. As for whether you can keep them or not, that will depend on your abilities." Lu Chengfeng tossed the Saint Bao and arrows to Mo Qingyun. Then he turned his head and glared at the yellow-wind old demon. He said, "Old demon Huangfeng, if you want to take my fortune origin crystal, you'll have to ask my fist first." After Lu Chengfeng said that, he charged towards the yellow-wind old demon. "Kid, it looks like you won't cry until you see the coffin. How dare you challenge me?" The yellow-wind old demon sneered when he saw Lu Chengfeng's provocation. His face was filled with mockery. It was clear that Lu Chengfeng was just an insignificant kid in his eyes. Afterwards, the two of them bickered for a bit before engaging in an intense battle. Seeing Old Demon Yellow Wind and Old Demon fighting, Ghost Ancestor Tong Tian did not join in. Instead, he turned to Mo Qingyun and said, "Brat, the two of them have gone to settle their matters. It's time for us to settle our matters too. Do you think you're stronger than Lu Chengfeng? Are you confident that you can take the Saint Bao and arrows from me?" Mo Qingyun showed no fear at all when he faced the ghost ancestor of Heaven Ascension Zhou Wei. He raised the bow and arrows in his hand. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Zhou Wei's expression tensed up, and a hint of fear appeared in his eyes. Mo Qingyun was right. He was not much stronger than Mo Qingyun. It would be very difficult for him to take the Saint Bao and arrows from Mo Qingyun. However, he still felt very indignant when he saw Mo Qingyun take away the sacred longbow and bow. After all, Lu Chengfeng had only handed over the Saint Bao and arrows because he and the yellow-wind old demon had forced him. Logically speaking, the Saint Bao and arrows should be split between him and the yellow-wind old demon. "Oof, kid, don't be so arrogant," Zhou Wei shouted angrily when he heard Mo Qingyun's provocation. His face was as dark as ink as he said coldly, "The only reason you can fight against Lu Chengfeng is because you have the help of the mermaid. You can restrain Lu Chengfeng's divine ability. My methods are different from Lu Chengfeng's. Is that what you think?" Mo Qingyun did not explain Zhou Wei's analysis. He only smiled meaningfully. Chapter 1860. "Boy, from your tone, you seem to have something up your sleeves?" Zhou Wei was taken aback by Mo Qingyun's reaction. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's reaction. The feeling that Mo Qingyun gave him now was not that of a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, but more like a hunter. This was a bit abnormal, so he had to be careful. Is this boy bluffing, or does he really have something up his sleeves? Looking at the indifferent Mo Qingyun, Zhou Wei's brows furrowed tightly as his mind raced. No matter what, Mo Qingyun had shown great combat strength in his fight with Lu Chengfeng. If by any chance Mo Qingyun had some powerful trump card, it might really make him suffer a huge loss. "Do I need anything to deal with you?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He waved his hand and summoned the seven-headed green dragon. Zhou Wei and the others had attacked the seven-headed green dragon outside the ancient demon's hall. It was the best choice to deal with him. Seven-headed green dragon. Seeing the seven-headed green dragon, Zhou Wei was shocked and his eyes widened. He did not expect the seven-headed green dragon to be with Mo Qingyun. This was not good news for him. He knew very well how powerful the seven-headed green dragon was. It was not something he could deal with alone. "I'll leave this guy to you." After summoning the seven-headed green dragon, Mo Qingyun instructed it to deal with Zhou Wei. After eating the bodies of Bai Yangyu and the others and refining their bloodline power, the seven-headed green dragon had recovered from its injuries. Not only that, the seven-headed green dragon's aura seemed to be stronger than before. "Yes, master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the seven-headed green dragon grinned hideously and opened its mouth. Then, the seven-headed green serpent moved and approached Zhou Wei. "Moss Master." Hearing the way the seven-headed green flood dragon addressed Mo Qingyun, Zhou Wei's old face stiffened at first. then began to tremble violently. A powerful existence, like the seven-headed green Jiao dragon, had actually recognized Mo Qingyun as its master. Was there anything more ridiculous than this? Zhou Wei knew very well that with the seven-headed green Jiao dragon's strength and character, it would never submit to Mo Qingyun so easily. There must be some secrets that he didn't know about, so he had to be careful. Little bastard, you guys joined hands to deal with me just now. Now, it's my turn to retaliate. Looking at Zhou Wei in front of him, the seven-headed green flood dragon laughed sinisterly and quickly rushed in front of Zhou Wei. Seeing the seven-headed green serpent charging over, Zhou Wei immediately panicked and his face twitched continuously. This time, the situation was completely reversed, and he was reduced to a passive situation. Soon, the seven-headed green Jiao dragon and Zhou Wei began to fight. The seven-headed green Jiao dragon suppressed Zhou Wei's attacks. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Zhou Wei and asked, "What do you think? Is this what I'm relying on?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Wei's face was gloomy and uncertain. He didn't know how to retaliate against Mo Qingyun. He had to admit that Mo Qingyun's trump card was very powerful, so powerful that it put him in danger. A kid at the robust soul stage had subdued a demonic beast at the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm as a servant. Although he was very angry, Zhou Wei didn't dare to be distracted and fought with the seven-headed green dragon wholeheartedly. However, the difference in strength between them was too great. Even if Zhou Wei gave it his all, he was still no match for the seven-headed green dragon. Bang! Under the seven-headed green dragon's attack, Zhou Wei was finally defeated and was sent flying by the seven-headed green dragon's claw. After being attacked by the seven-headed green dragon's claw, Zhou Wei's face immediately turned pale, and his expression was filled with fear and cowardice. If he didn't think of a solution soon, he might really die here today. Coincidentally, the direction where Zhou Wei was sent flying was where old Devil Huangfeng and Lu Qingfeng were fighting. Seeing old Devil Huangfeng and Lu Qingfeng not far away, Zhou Wei was delighted and shouted excitedly, "Lu Qingfeng, old Devil Huangfeng, both of you stop now. This kid is with the seven-headed green dragon. Let's join forces to deal with him first so that he and the seven-headed green dragon won't take revenge on us later." Lu Qingfeng and old Devil Huangfeng were among the people who attacked the seven-headed green dragon outside the ancient demon's hall earlier. Therefore, in Zhou Wei's opinion, old Devil Huangfeng and Lu Qingfeng would join forces with him to deal with Mo Qingyun after hearing his words. Deal with the seven-headed green dragon? Old Devil Huangfeng frowned when he heard Zhou Wei's words. He was hesitating if he should listen to Zhou Wei. He was very clear about the seven-headed green dragon's strength. This fellow was not someone to be trifled with. Moreover, there was a strange kid behind the seven-headed green dragon at this moment. Yeah, the seven-headed green dragon's injuries have healed so quickly. Old Devil Huangfeng glanced at the seven-headed green dragon. His expression immediately tensed up as he pondered. He guessed the seven-headed green dragon must have devoured a large amount of blood essence from experts to be able to recover so quickly. There were some experts from the Dark Demon clan who went after it. Could it have killed them all? Old Devil Huangfeng had sensed that Chu Qiong and the others had chased after the seven-headed green dragon. Huangfeng's eyes narrowed when he thought of something. He thought to himself, given the seven-headed green serpent's strength, it's impossible for him to be a match for the Dark Devil tribe. Could it be that he was able to kill the Dark Devil tribe because of that kid's help? Old Devil Huangfeng had also escaped from the extraterrestrial immortal prison. Therefore, he was very clear about the seven-headed green dragon's strength. He knew that it was impossible for the seven-headed green dragon to do this with its current strength. In this case, it seemed that only Mo Qingyun's help could explain all of this. That kid is very strange. I'd better not attack him before I know more about him. Old Devil Huangfeng was a shrewd old man. He realized that Mo Qingyun was not simple and made a decision. The fact that the seven-headed green dragon would listen to Mo Qingyun was enough to show that Mo Qingyun was not to be trifled with. There was no need for him to make trouble for himself. Moreover, even if he helped Zhou Wei, he would not gain anything. He wasn't going to do such a thankless task. While Huang Feng was pondering, Lu Qingfeng sneered. He took pleasure in Huang Feng's misfortune and said, "Old dog Zhou Wei, just now, the two of you wanted to snatch my sacred artifact. Now, you want me to help you? Are you out of your mind?" Lu Qingfeng crossed his arms as soon as he finished speaking, as if he was waiting to watch a good show. He wanted to see what would happen to Zhou Wei under the combined attack of Mo Qingyun and the seven-headed green Jiao dragon. Zhou Wei immediately paled when he saw old devil Huang Feng and Lu Qingfeng's attitude. Despair appeared on his face. Chapter 1861. Bastard, it looks like you're not very popular. None of them are willing to help you. The seven-headed azure serpent snickered when he saw the attitude of the two of them. He lunged at Zhou Wei again. Zhou Wei's mind raced when he saw the serpent charge at him. He tried to think of a way to resolve the situation. Capture the ringleader first. The seven-headed azure serpent will listen to the kid. It'll be fine as long as I capture him. Zhou Wei thought for a moment and immediately came up with an idea. He looked at Mo Qingyun viciously and said, "Kid, even if you have the help of the seven-headed azure serpent, it's only an external force. Once I capture you, I'd like to see how you'll be able to contend against me." The serpent was in no hurry to stop Zhou Wei when he saw him attack Mo Qingyun. Instead, he sneered, "Bastard, you can't even deal with me, yet you want to lay your hands on Master? You must be tired of living." The serpent was extremely familiar with Mo Qingyun's strength. He was not someone that Zhou Wei could deal with. As the serpent spoke, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and grasped at the air. A golden bow appeared in his hand. The bow immediately radiated with a terrifying presence as soon as it appeared. It was even more powerful than sane artifacts. That was right. The bow that Mo Qingyun had summoned was the God Shooter bow. The God Shooter bow shone with a dazzling light as soon as it appeared in Mo Qingyun's hand. It quickly transformed into a golden arrow. What a powerful bow! The old man's face trembled when he saw the bow in Mo Qingyun's hand. His eyes immediately widened as he cried out, That's the God Shooter bow. It's a god artifact from another plane in the primordial era. I never thought that it would end up in this kid's hands. Just who is this kid?" The old man immediately became shocked when he saw the God Shooter bow in Mo Qingyun's hand. He had recognized the God Shooter bow. After recognizing the God Shooter bow, Huang Feng looked at Mo Qingyun with even more fear and wariness. While old devil Huang Feng was afraid, he also felt a little relieved. Fortunately, he had not attacked Mo Qingyun earlier. Otherwise, he would be in a terrible situation. He would become Mo Qingyun's target. In his current state, he could not withstand the God Shooter bow's attack. This brat actually has such a weapon in his hands. How terrifying! Looking at the God Shooter bow in Mo Qingyun's hand, Lu Qingfeng was both fearful and relieved. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun did not have the intention to kill him. Otherwise, he would have become a corpse. While Lu Qingfeng was feeling scared, he rolled his eyes quickly and stepped back quietly. From his point of view, Mo Qingyun's battle prowess was not something he could contend against. While Mo Qingyun was dealing with Zhou Wei, it was better for him to leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would not be able to leave even if he wanted to. As for how Zhou Wei would die, he was not in the mood to care. Soon, Lu Qingfeng turned into a ray of light and quickly fled into the distance. He escaped. Seeing Lu Qingfeng running away in fear, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He did not know whether to laugh or cry at this scene. He really did not expect that he would scare Lu Qingfeng away by attacking Zhou Wei. Mo Qingyun ignored Lu Qingfeng's escape and looked at Zhou Wei again. Go! Once the immortal spiritual energy bow and arrow were formed, Mo Qingyun loosened his fingers and released the immortal spiritual energy bow and arrow. The immortal spiritual energy arrow shot out, and with a flash of golden light, it arrived in front of Zhou Wei in the blink of an eye. So strong, so fast. Looking at the immortal spiritual energy arrow, Zhou Wei was so frightened that his heart trembled. His old face kept twitching. After all, Zhou Wei was a ninth heaven Xian immortal level 5 expert. After a short moment of panic, he dodged the immortal spiritual energy arrow. Pucci, the immortal spiritual energy arrow was too fast. Before Zhou Wei could dodge, it pierced through his chest. Under the attack of the immortal spiritual energy arrow, a huge hole immediately appeared in front of Zhou Wei's chest. After being hit by the immortal spiritual energy arrow, Zhou Wei's body flew backward. His face became even paler. At the same time, the aura that Zhou Wei emitted became even weaker. Little bastard, are you still trying to be smart? Do you still think that Master can be dealt with? Seeing Zhou Wei's fate, the seven-headed green serpent smiled proudly and charged toward Zhou Wei again. Seeing the seven-headed green serpent charging toward Zhou Wei, Mo Qingyun did not continue to attack. He put down the God Shooter Bow. After putting down the God Shooter Bow, Mo Qingyun looked at old Devil Huangfeng with a thoughtful expression. Seeing Mo Qingyun looking at him with a thoughtful expression, old Devil Huangfeng's expression immediately tensed up. He hurriedly said, "Little brother, I have no ill intentions towards you. I attacked the seven-headed green serpent earlier because I was forced by the situation." Although Mo Qingyun's cultivation level was not high, Mo Qingyun's performance earlier gave him a strong sense of danger. He could see that Mo Qingyun had not used his full strength since the beginning. This was a little scary. Don't panic. I have no ill intentions towards you. Seeing old Devil Huangfeng's flustered look, Mo Qingyun smiled and said, "Wait a moment. I have some questions for you. I hope that you can answer them for me." Old Devil Huangfeng's expression improved slightly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He hurriedly said, "Little brother, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will definitely tell you everything I know." "All right." Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction when he saw old Devil Huangfeng's attitude. He looked at Zhou Wei again. Under the powerful attacks of the seven-headed green serpent, Zhou Wei was already at the end of his rope. He could be killed by the serpent at any time. Looking at the situation in front of them, the people around them were all stunned. None of them had expected this. Who is this young man? His strength is so terrifying. Yeah, I never thought that even Zhou Wei and the others would not be able to fight back against him. It's not just that. Look at old Devil Huangfeng. He's completely terrified of him. From this young man's cultivation and the talent he's displayed, he should be that person. Who? The greatest prodigy of the heavenly soul demons, Mo Qingyun. At this moment, some people guessed Mo Qingyun's identity amidst the exclamations of the crowd. After guessing Mo Qingyun's identity, the shock on everyone's faces became even more intense. They had never thought that Mo Qingyun's identity would be so powerful. This made it even more difficult to provoke him. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, the battle between the seven-headed green serpent and Zhou Wei ended. Under the seven-headed green serpent's domineering attack, Zhou Wei was filled with resentment as he died under the claws of the seven-headed green serpent. After killing Zhou Wei, the seven-headed green serpent moved and came to Mo Qingyun's side. Chapter 1862. Let's go. Mo Qingyun looked at old Huangfeng and nodded at him. He then turned around and prepared to leave the ancient demon's hall. In these ancient castles, there were several powerful saint artifacts that had been taken away. The remaining quasi-sacred weapons were not attractive to Mo Qingyun. All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, old Huangfeng left with Mo Qingyun despite his reluctance. There was nothing he could do about it. Mo Qingyun's strength was too strong. He had no choice but to hold back and compromise. Old Huangfeng, you're an expert of the immortal tribe. You must know about the nine heavens colored glaze sacred elixir hall. On the way out of the ancient demon's hall, Mo Qingyun did not beat around the bush and asked old Huangfeng directly. Nine heavens colored glaze sacred elixir hall. Huangfeng frowned when he heard Mo Qingyun's question. He seemed to be reminiscing. Old Huangfeng recalled for a while and nodded at Mo Qingyun. To be honest, I've heard about the Nine Heavens Color Glaze Sacred Elixir Hall before. However, I was imprisoned in the extraterrestrial immortal prison. I don't know anything about it anymore. Oh, Mo Qing-yun was elated. He was surprised by old Huang Feng's answer. Initially, he was just trying to see if he could get some information about the Nine Heavens Color Glaze Sacred Elixir Hall from old Huang Feng. He didn't expect that old Devil Huang Feng would actually know about it. This was truly beyond his expectations. Tell me everything you know in detail. Upon hearing Huang Feng's reply, Mo Qing-yun didn't waste any more words with him and immediately urged him to hurry up. Under Mo Qing-yun's urging, Huang Feng did not dare to hesitate and said in a deep voice, "When I was traveling in the immortal desolate domain, I passed by the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range and heard some news about the Nine Heavens glazed Holy Pill Hall." Glazed mountain range of broken clouds? Mo Qing-yun's expression changed slightly. He memorized the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range and planned to go there immediately. While Mo Qing-yun was making a decision in his heart, old man Huang Feng, who was beside him, did not stop talking. He continued, "At that time, I heard that the sect ruins of the Nine Heavens Colored Glaze Holy Pill Hall seemed to be somewhere in the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range. However, I did not know where exactly it is." A thought flashed through Mo Qing-yun's head when he saw Huang Feng. He looked at Huang Feng meaningfully and said, "Huang Feng, as an expert of the immortals, it's probably inappropriate for you to remain in the territory of the god race. Come with us to the immortal desolate world." Mo Qing-yun naturally did not ask old Devil Huang Feng to accompany them because he wanted to find a powerful helper. With old ghost Huang Feng's cultivation at the peak of the 5th level of the Nine Heavens Xian immortal realm, bringing Mo Qing-yun around the immortal desolate domain would make things much easier for Mo Qing-yun. Hearing Mo Qing-yun's intention, old Devil Huang Feng's face revealed a difficult expression. He seemed to be very unwilling. Old Devil Huang Feng hesitated for a moment. When he saw Mo Qing-yun's gaze gradually turning cold, he sighed and said, "Since it's little brother's good intentions, this old man will respectfully accept and follow little brother to the immortal desolate world. Since that's the case, let's go immediately." Seeing that old Devil Huang Feng had agreed to accompany them, Mo Qing-yun nodded in satisfaction and immediately flew forward. Seeing this, old Devil Huang Feng and old Devil Huang Feng immediately followed behind Mo Qing-yun and flew out of the ancient demon's hall. Soon, Mo Qing-yun and the other two left the ancient demon's hall and determined the direction to the immortal desolate world. While Mo Qing-yun was determining the direction, he summoned the flying boat of the Divine Boat clan and prepared to use it to travel. The distance between the divine desolate world and the immortal desolate world was still very far. If they did not use the flying boat to travel, it would take too long. The flying boat of the Divine Boat clan, old Devil Huang Feng and old Devil Huang Feng were shocked when they saw the flying boat that Mo Qing-yun had summoned. The way they looked at Mo Qing-yun changed. With their experience, they naturally knew how precious the flying boat of the Divine Boat clan was. The Divine Boat clan had been annihilated for a long time, and the number of divine boats left behind was extremely limited. Every single one of them was a priceless treasure. Yet, Mo Qing-yun had obtained a flying boat. This was too surprising for them. "Old Devil Huang Feng, you will drive the flying boat." After summoning the flying boat of the Divine Boat clan, Mo Qing-yun did not waste any time and immediately gave old Devil Huang Feng an order. By letting old Yellow Wind drive the flying boat, he could save some trouble and test old Yellow Wind. If old Devil Huang Feng dared to play tricks, Mo Qing-yun would immediately take care of him. After giving old Devil Huang Feng an order, Mo Qing-yun brought the seven-headed green flood dragon and entered the Fortune mainland in a flash. They disappeared? Old Devil Huang Feng was stunned when he saw Mo Qing-yun and old Devil Huang Feng disappear. He was very surprised by the situation. After a short moment of shock, old Devil Huang Feng did not think too much about it and immediately drove the flying boat. Since he had promised Mo Qing-yun, he could not go back on his words. He had to send Mo Qingyun to the glazed broken cloud mountain range. After sending Mo Qingyun to the glazed broken cloud mountain range, he could no longer be controlled by Mo Qingyun. Old Devil Huang Feng drove the flying boat and brought Mo Qingyun and Old Devil Huang Feng to the immortal desolate world. While Old Devil Huang Feng was rushing, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qian Linglong's residence. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, Qian Linglong, who was fine not long ago, suddenly had her injuries worsened. "Linglong, what happened to you?" Seeing that Qian Linglong's injuries had worsened, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with anxiety. He hurried to Qian Linglong's side and said, "Didn't your injuries worsen previously? Why did they worsen all of a sudden?" "The person who injured me has broken through to the Sage Realm. His soul-decaying power has become much stronger." Qian Linglong's face was pale, and she replied weakly to Mo Qingyun's question. Hearing Qian Linglong's reply, Mo Qingyun's heart sank, and he could not help but tense up. This kind of unforeseen event came too suddenly, and he was not prepared at all. "No, I have to think of a way to stabilize Linglong's injuries immediately." Seeing that Qian Linglong's injuries had worsened again, Mo Qingyun quickly thought of a way to resolve this situation. Just as Mo Qingyun's expression was tense, and he was thinking of a solution, Qian Linglong's body trembled and her face turned even paler. At the same time, a faint and delicate shadow pierced through the void and flew towards Qian Linglong. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He recognized what this delicate, illusory figure was. It was the spiritual soul of Qian Linglong's avatar. The arrival of the spiritual soul of Qian Linglong's avatar meant that she could no longer maintain her avatar. Under Mo Qingyun's shocked gaze, the delicate shadow quickly entered Qian Linglong's head. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up, and he couldn't help but feel anxious. Chapter 1863. Qian Linglong's doppelganger's soul had entered her head, and she had fallen into a deep sleep. Seeing that Qian Linglong had fallen into a coma, Mo Qingyun immediately helped her up and carried her to a bed to rest. After carrying Qian Linglong to the bed, Mo Qingyun's gaze turned to Long Hanyin and the other girls. If this continued, Long Hanyin and the other girls would suffer the same fate as the doppelganger. "No, I can't give up so easily. I have to think of a solution as soon as possible." Mo Qingyun clenched his fists and secretly made up his mind to heal Qian Linglong's injuries. After silently making up his mind, Mo Qingyun walked out of the room and sat down on a stone bench in the courtyard. "Just now in the ancient castle, I obtained a mysterious scroll. I wonder what kind of secrets it holds." As he recalled what the King Devourer had said, Mo Qingyun took out the mysterious scroll and examined it carefully. After examining it for a while, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up. "This is the map of the Dark Demon Tribe's blood exchange base." After examining the mysterious scroll, Mo Qingyun understood its function and suddenly had a bold idea. The primordial creation bloodline has amazing recovery abilities. If I transplant the bloodline to Linglong, won't I be able to suppress her injuries? As soon as this idea appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind, it grew rapidly, and he couldn't help but want to give it a try. If he succeeded, even if he couldn't cure Qian Linglong's injuries, he would be able to stabilize them. What kind of place does this scroll depict? After carefully examining the mysterious scroll, Mo Qingyun was still confused about the place depicted on the scroll. After thinking hard for a while, Mo Qingyun didn't bury his head in thought and immediately summoned the heaven-devouring dragon. The King Devourer had asked him to take this mysterious scroll. The King Devourer must know its function. The King Devourer appeared beside Mo Qingyun and said respectfully, "Master, you summoned me. Do you have any instructions for me?" In response to the King Devourer's question, Mo Qingyun nodded and pointed to the mysterious scroll. "Previously, you asked me to take this scroll. I guess you know its origin. Now, Tell me, what kind of place is depicted on the scroll? After hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the King Devourer didn't dare to hesitate and immediately took the scroll to examine it. As the sky-devouring mermaid empress checked the scroll, she frowned and her body emitted a wave of anger. Seeing the sky-devouring mermaid queen's abnormal behavior, Mo Qingyun was puzzled and asked, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with the place depicted on the scroll?" After hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the King Devourer's expression improved a little. However, his tone was still angry. The place depicted on the scroll is the ancestral tomb of the Mare people. I didn't expect the dark demons to turn our ancestral tomb into a base for their bloodline conversion. Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He was very shocked and surprised by the King Devourer's words. At this moment, he finally understood why the King Devourer was so agitated. If it were anyone else who encountered such a situation, they would be very angry. While understanding the King Devourer's feelings, Mo Qingyun also thought of a possibility. He guessed, if that's the case, the reason why the dark demons grew stronger was because of the transplanting of the Mer people's bloodline. That must be it. The King Devourer's expression was cold. He agreed with Mo Qingyun's guess and said coldly, if they didn't find a powerful bloodline, how could the dark demon's bloodline rise so quickly and grow to such a level? Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement. He also felt that this was the reason. The dark demon's bloodline talent was that they could merge with the bloodline of other clansmen to mutate and strengthen their own bloodline. However, due to the uniqueness of their bloodline, if they didn't merge with the bloodline of other clans, they wouldn't have the talent to cultivate. To the dark demon race, this was a fatal blow. It was definitely not easy to go from a clan that couldn't cultivate to a clan with peerless talent. Many people were puzzled by the sudden rise of the dark demons. They didn't understand the reason behind it. Now, it seemed that the dark demon's talent had greatly changed because they found the ancestral tomb of the Mare people. The Merman race was a powerful race that ruled the entire desolate continent during its most primitive period. There was no doubt about the bloodline talent of their clan. The Dark Demon clan had quietly transplanted the bloodline of the Merman clan. Naturally, they would be able to rise in power. Since this is the ancestral tomb of your clan, you should know how to get there, right? Knowing the place described in the scroll, Mo Qingyun was delighted. He immediately asked the King Devourer. Yes, the King Devourer nodded. He pointed at the picture on the mysterious scroll and introduced it to Mo Qingyun in detail. This is the Immortal Wilderness Domain. If you head west from the Immortal Wilderness Domain, you will arrive at an endless sea. This is where the ancestral tomb of our clan is. The ancestral tomb of your clan is at the bottom of the sea. Hearing the King Devourer's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was very surprised by this situation. However, Mo Qingyun thought about it and didn't find it strange. The Mare people lived in the sea. It wasn't strange for their ancestral tomb to be at the bottom of the sea. After understanding the crux of the matter, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. After pondering for a moment, he said, since we need to pass through the immortal desolate domain to go to your ancestral tomb, then let's head to the immortal desolate domain before heading to your ancestral tomb. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's plan, the King Devourer nodded and agreed with Mo Qingyun's arrangement. In this way, they wouldn't take a wrong path and wouldn't waste Mo Qingyun's time. After everything was discussed, Mo Qingyun carefully kept the mysterious scroll. This thing would be related to Qian Linglong's injury in the near future. After everything was settled, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and immersed himself in cultivation again. To him, the most important thing now was to raise his cultivation level as soon as possible. If his cultivation level wasn't high enough, whether it was to avenge Qian Linglong or to fight against Ting Zhao's faction, it was useless. All of these were just armchair strategies. There was no other way. No matter how talented he was or how powerful his super skills were, they were useless. In the face of absolute power, any super skills, celestial skills, and talents were like rootless duckweed and couldn't withstand a single blow. Chapter 1864. Outside Qian Linglong's little house, Mo Qingyun sat quietly. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's consciousness was in his sea of consciousness, wholeheartedly cultivating and strengthening his primordial spirit. In Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness, wisps of pure soul power were rapidly being absorbed by his primordial spirit. Under the nourishment of the soul power, Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit's physique was undergoing obvious changes. Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit's current state was changing from an illusory state to a completely corporeal state. At this rate, Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit would be completely corporeal in no time. In addition, as Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit grew stronger, the rich soul power outside his primordial spirit was slowly condensing into a set of armor. In the process of forming the soul armor, it emitted a strong flame power, as if it wanted to burn all soul power. What a strong soul armor! Feeling the aura of the soul armor, Mo Qingyun was delighted and excited. If this set of soul armor is formed, my soul defense will undergo an earth-shattering change. At this thought, Mo Qingyun worked even harder in his cultivation, strengthening his primordial spirit while condensing the flaming soul armor. Time passed by slowly. After a few months, Mo Qingyun's soul power finally reached its peak under his wholehearted cultivation. As for the soul armor outside his primordial spirit, it was completely condensed. I'm finally going to break through. Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he had a clear understanding of his current situation. Realizing that his cultivation was about to break through, Mo Qingyun did not dare to delay, and immediately began to break through to the soul tempering stage. The soul tempering stage, as the name suggested, was to temper one's soul and strengthen one's primordial spirit. Once one's cultivation entered the soul tempering stage, one's primordial spirit would be constantly in a state of tempering. There are countless ways to enter this state of tempering, and it was related to the way a cultivator cultivated. For example, if a cultivator cultivated a fire element cultivation technique, he would naturally sense fire element energy. If he sensed fire element energy, then in the future, when he communicated with heaven and earth, the fire element energy would enter his sea of consciousness. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun tried to let his primordial spirit out of his body to sense the Fortune mainland's heaven and earth energy. The Fortune mainland was similar to the Savage mainland. It was a complete world. Therefore, sensing the Fortune mainland's heaven and earth energy did not affect Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit's cultivation. His primordial spirit flew out from Mo Qingyun's head and hovered above his head, sensing the Fortune mainland's energy. While sensing the Fortune mainland's primordial spirit sense energy force, pulling forces primordial spirit world's earth energy. Then, his primordial spirit energy was Fortune mainland, S-body's primordial spirit. Where does this force on the Fortune mainland want to lead my primordial spirit to? Mo Qingyun was astonished by this sudden turn of events, and his mind became highly focused. Although the Fortune mainland was connected to his blood essence, Huang Xiaolong still couldn't figure out the reason behind this sudden change. In the blink of an eye, Huang Xiaolong's primordial spirit arrived at the end of the Fortune mainland, standing in front of a golden gray fog. This golden gray fog's momentum was very strong, containing a powerful energy. Mo Qingyun had never seen such a high-grade energy before. What a powerful energy! Its grade is even higher than holy force. Sensing the golden gray fog, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He carefully examined the golden gray energy. He had never imagined that there would be such a kind of energy on the Fortune mainland. This golden gray fog is very powerful. If I can control it, it might become one of my trump cards. The moment this thought appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind, he no longer hesitated and tried to control the golden gray fog. Unfortunately, Mo Qingyun's attempt failed. The golden gray fog had no reaction. It doesn't work? Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised at his failure, but he was unwilling to give up and tried a few more times. After several failures, Mo Qingyun finally gave up. It seemed like this powerful golden gray fog was not something he could control at the moment. While Mo Qingyun was feeling disappointed, his primordial spirit suddenly flew towards the golden gray fog, refining it. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that his primordial spirit was refining the golden gray fog as if it was sucking breast milk. My primordial spirit can refine this golden gray fog. Looking at the scene in front of him, Mo Qingyun's mind went blank, and he was at a loss. Earlier, he had tried his best but failed to control the golden gray fog, but now his primordial spirit could refine it. This change in situation was too fast, and Huang Xiaolong was having a hard time accepting it. Although I don't know what this golden gray fog is, it must be a kind of powerful energy. Looking at the endless golden gray energy, Mo Qingyun thought inwardly. He immediately made a decision. This golden gray fog is very powerful, and its grade is far above any other kind of energy. It should be a good choice to temper my primordial spirit. Breakthrough. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he did not waste any more time and immediately began to break through. Strands of golden gray fog gathered together, hovering above Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit. Before long, the golden gray fog became like a dark cloud, with bolts of lightning surging within. When the bolts of lightning appeared, they turned into bolts of lightning and shot towards Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit. Struck by the lightning, Mo Qingyun immediately let out a muffled groan and felt his mind go blank. Without waiting for Mo Qingyun to recover, the second bolt of lightning came one after another, bombarding his primordial spirit. Just like that, 81 bolts of lightning struck him in a row. Only then did the process of breaking through truly come to an end. After being struck by 81 bolts of lightning, Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit was extremely weak, but it had become much more solid. After breaking through to the soul-tempering realm, his primordial spirit stayed inside the golden gray fog, refining it to heal his injuries and strengthen his body. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had broken through, and he once again entered a state of cultivation to stabilize his new cultivation. After more than a month of continuous cultivation, Mo Qingyun finally stabilized his cultivation and exited from his state of cultivation. Due to the continuous absorption of the golden gray fog, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had improved greatly in less than a month. Now, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the peak of early soul-tempering realm, and he was not far from the middle soul-tempering realm. Since my cultivation has broken through, it's time to leave the Fortune mainland. After discovering that his cultivation had broken through, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer and decided to go out and check out the situation. I wonder where that old ghost Wang Feng is driving the flying ship to now. With this thought, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered, appearing inside the flying ship. Chapter 1865. Where are we now? Mo Qingyun asked old Devil Wang Feng directly as he walked up to him. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk up to him, old Devil Huang Feng smiled respectfully and said, "Mr. Mo, we have arrived at the border of the immortal desolate world. I'm afraid it will take us another 3 months to reach the 9 heavens glazed holy elixir palace." 3 more months? Mo Qingyun frowned as he thought about how to make use of these 3 months. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun immediately made up his mind. He knew what to do. Continue to drive the flying boat. Mo Qingyun turned around and left after he spoke to old Devil Huang Feng. After taking a few steps, Mo Qingyun stopped and waved at the cabin. Soon, the sky-devouring mermaid king appeared beside him and asked respectfully, "Master, you summoned me. Do you have something to tell me?" Mo Qingyun nodded when he heard King Devourer's question. He said in a deep voice, "I did summon you because I have something to tell you. Stay in the flying boat and cultivate. When we reach the nine heavens glazed holy elixir palace, pass me the message. Yes. King Devourer nodded in response. Looking at the sky-devouring mermaid empress before him, Mo Qingyun thought for a while. He took out the saint artifact, bow, and arrow he had obtained before. He said, I obtained this saint artifact, bow, and arrow from the ancient demon's hall. You have never had a suitable weapon, so I'll give it to you. Divine bow, an arrow. King Devourer was overjoyed when he saw the divine bow, an arrow that Mo Qingyun handed to him. He smiled brightly. He didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would give her such a precious weapon without any hesitation. A sacred weapon was an extremely powerful weapon at any time. Even though she was once a saint realm expert, a saint weapon was still an extremely rare item in her eyes. Thank you, Master. King Devourer was pleasantly surprised. He took the divine bow and arrows from Mo Qingyun and played with them in his hands. The merman race was good at archery, and this saint artifact, bow, and arrow were most suitable for him. He's even giving away a sacred artifact. Huang Feng's face twitched when he saw Mo Qingyun's actions. His eyes were filled with envy as he secretly sighed. Mr. Mo sure is generous. He's even casually giving away a saint artifact to his subordinate. Just as Yellow Wind was sighing inwardly, his eyes suddenly lit up. He had a bold idea. Right? If I also submit to Mr. Mo, I wonder if he will give me a sacred item in the future. Old Ghost Huang Feng quietly nodded his head as he thought of this. He suppressed this thought in his heart. All right, you stay here and cultivate. I'll return to the Fortune mainland first. After handing the divine bow and arrows to King Devourer, Mo Qingyun reminded Qian Linglong before he left in a flash. Mo Qingyun already had the God Shooter bow, so there was no point in him keeping the divine bow and arrows. Now that he had given them to King Devourer, he could increase the King Devourer's strength and use them to his fullest potential. King Devourer was Mo Qingyun's subordinate. If he became stronger, it would mean that Mo Qingyun's strength would also increase. There are still about 3 months before we reach the nine heavens-colored glaze Holy Pill Hall's ruins. I can't waste this time. After arriving at the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun stood in Qian Linglong's courtyard and decided to make use of this time. After this period of battle and tempering, my mastery and comprehension of several divine abilities have increased significantly. Perhaps I can improve my control of them to a higher level. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time and immediately immersed himself in his cultivation. The first thing he cultivated was his bloodline ability, the Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist. Mo Qingyun clenched his fist, and a terrifying wave of profound, clear, spiritual energy rapidly gathered around his fist. In a short moment, the monstrous, profound, clear, spiritual energy flowed from his fist to his arm. Soon, a huge demon god shadow enveloped Mo Qingyun's body. When the demon god shadow appeared, it emitted a powerful aura that shook the courtyard's fences and caused them to collapse. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun immediately retracted his aura and revealed a pondering expression. No, the bloodline ability is too powerful. I can't cultivate in a place like this. I have to find a place that can withstand it. All right, the golden gray fog is very powerful. I should be able to cultivate in peace there. Mo Qingyun's heart moved. He immediately thought of a place where he could practice his bloodline ability to his heart's content. Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time. He immediately headed to the golden gray fog and prepared to cultivate his bloodline ability in peace there. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared from the spot and arrived at the golden gray fog. After arriving at the golden gray fog, Mo Qingyun immediately immersed himself in cultivation and honed his several offensive techniques. Mo Qingyun's first cultivation technique was still the Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist. He was prepared to raise its level before cultivating other bloodline abilities. Just like that, Mo Qingyun spent the rest of the time cultivating in this place. Time always passed quickly during cultivation. In a moment of carelessness, 3 months had already passed. After these 3 months of cultivation, his comprehension of the 4 bloodline abilities had all increased to the level of greater mastery. With the increase in comprehension of the 4 bloodline abilities, the power they displayed was also nearly 60% stronger than before. This kind of improvement could be described as earth-shattering. Other than the increase in the level of the 4 bloodline abilities, Mo Qingyun's mastery of the 9-9 Heavenly Demon Godslayer sword formation had also greatly improved. The number of ancient swords Mo Qingyun had refined had already reached the level of 16, and the power he could display had increased by nearly 30%. It's already been 3 months. King Devourer still hasn't sent me a message. I probably haven't reached the 9 heavens colored glaze Sacred Pill Palace's ruins yet. Thinking of his instructions to King Devourer, Mo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry to leave this place. He thought about what other bloodline abilities he had yet to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun really did think of a bloodline ability that he had forgotten recently. With my current level, I should be able to cultivate the 4th transformation of the 9 revolutions, Celestial Demon Transformation. Thinking of his mastery of the 9 revolutions, Celestial Demon Transformation, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and prepared to cultivate the 4th transformation. Although the 9 revolutions, Celestial Demon Transformation wasn't a bloodline ability, the bloodline abilities within it were all powerful and practical. The 4th transformation of the 9 revolutions, Celestial Demon Transformation, Shadow Dragon Transformation. Mo Qingyun activated his consciousness and looked at the 4th transformation of the 9 revolutions, Celestial Demon Transformation. A new piece of information appeared in his mind. After some observation, Mo Qingyun had a rough understanding of the contents of the 4th level. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that as he became more proficient in the Shadow Dragon transformation, his body actually became more and more transparent. My body is almost 30% more transparent than before. What's going on? Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He was at a loss about his current situation. Mo Qingyun had a contemplative look on his face. His mind spun quickly as he thought to himself, although I don't know why my body has become transparent, there must be a reason for it that I don't know. After racking his brain for a while, Mo Qingyun decided not to think too much about it. He collected his thoughts and said, after this period of cultivation, not only has my cultivation broken through, I've also completed my cultivation. It's time to leave the Fortune mainland. Although he did not receive King Devourer's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer. He planned to go out and check on the situation outside. Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared in a flicker, leaving the Fortune mainland. Swish! A figure flashed and appeared in the flying ship's cabin. Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance immediately attracted King Devourer's attention. Her beautiful eyes trembled as she asked in surprise, "Master, you've finished cultivating?" In King Devourer's opinion, if Mo Qingyun had not finished cultivating, he would not have left the Fortune mainland. And Mo Qingyun nodded, which could be considered as an answer to King Devourer. He asked, "Have you refined the Saint artifact, bow, and arrow?" "I've already refined them." King Devourer nodded in response. He revealed a joyful smile and said, "Not only that, with the help of the Saint energy contained in the Saint artifact, bow, and arrow, my cultivation has broken through to the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm." "You've broken through to the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm?" Upon hearing King Devourer's reply, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy. He sensed the King Devourer's cultivation realm. King Devourer had indeed broken through to the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Perhaps because she had just broken through, her cultivation realm was not stable yet. Since you've just broken through, your cultivation realm is not stable yet. I'll send you to the Soul Palace to cultivate. Mo Qingyun did not wait for King Devourer's reply as he sent the King Devourer into the Soul Palace. After sending King Devourer into the Soul Palace, Missouri Qingyun's footsteps did not stop. He immediately walked towards Old Devil Huang Feng. "Mr. Mo, you're here." Old Devil Huang Feng bowed respectfully when he saw Mo Qingyun coming to his side, displaying a very humble attitude. Seeing Old Devil Huang Feng's actions, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He was a little surprised by Old Devil Huang Feng's respect. He said, "Old Devil Huang Feng, you're not my servant. There's no need for you to be so respectful to me. Mr. Mo, if you're willing to take me in, I'm willing to acknowledge you as my master." Old Devil Huang Feng's attitude became even more humble when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He spoke his thoughts out loud. "Acknowledge me as your master?" Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly surprised. He was even more surprised by Old Devil Huang Feng's actions. He did not understand why Old Devil Huang Feng would do this. One had to know that people like Old Devil Huang Feng were all proud and arrogant. Under normal circumstances, how could they be willing to acknowledge someone else as their master? If I'm not wrong, Old Devil Huang Feng's change in attitude should be related to the Saint Artifact bow and arrow that I gave King Devourer. After thinking for a short while, Mo Qingyun guessed the reason. He knew why Old Devil Huang Feng wanted to acknowledge him as his master. After knowing Old Devil Huang Feng's intentions, Mo Qingyun did not expose him. He put on a solemn expression and said, "Old Devil Huang Feng, it's fine if you want to acknowledge me as your master, but you have to be like the seven-headed green serpent and the others. You have to let me plant a soul imprint in your sea of consciousness." This Old Devil Huang Feng hesitated. Mo Qingyun's request was still somewhat difficult for him to accept. If that was the case, his life would be completely in Mo Qingyun's hands. Putting aside Mr. Mo's generosity, his potential is limitless. Acknowledging him as my master might not be a bad thing. Old Devil Huang Feng thought to himself. Old Ghost Huang Feng cursed in his heart. After weighing the pros and cons, he came to a decision and said, "Old Servant Huang Feng greets Master." After Old Devil Huang Feng spoke, he knelt to Mo Qingyun to show his respect for Mo Qingyun. "There's no need for formalities. You may rise." Seeing Old Devil Huang Feng's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and waved his hand. A soul imprint condensed in his hand. After a long while, Mo Qingyun sent his soul imprint into Old Devil Huang Feng's sea of consciousness. Chapter 1867. Master, if I'm not mistaken, will reach the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range in a few hours. Old Yellow Wind pointed to the front and reported their current journey to Mo Qingyun. After hearing Old Yellow Wind's report, Mo Qingyun nodded and looked into the distance. Mo Qingyun stood beside Old Yellow Wind and drove the flying boat with him. A few hours passed by very quickly. Suddenly, resplendent spots of light appeared in Mo Qingyun's line of sight among the clouds in front of him. At first glance, those resplendent dots of light were like diamonds. "Master, that's the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range." Old Yellow Wind pointed to the spots of light in front of him to confirm their location to Mo Qingyun. After hearing Old Yellow Wind's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed and revealed a curious expression. He did not expect the spots of light in front of him to be the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range. Under Mo Qingyun's curious gaze, the flying boat slowly approached the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range. After a while, Old Yellow Wind drove the flying boat to the sky above a mountain range of crystals. This was the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range. The Nine Heavens glazed Sacred Pill Palace really knows how to choose a place to build their sect here. Looking at the endless crystal mountain range below, Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh. He was very impressed by the Nine Heavens glazed Sacred Pill Palace. Although they were not close to the glazed Broken Cloud Mountain range, Mo Qingyun could clearly sense a dense, immortal spiritual energy drifting out from it. "Let's go down," Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He then gestured to Old Yellow Wind and asked him to drive the flying boat to the ground. When they arrived at the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and kept the flying boat. He asked Old Yellow Wind, Huang Feng, according to your thoughts, where is the most likely location of the Nine Heavens glazed Sacred Pill Palace's ruins? Old Yellow Wind's expression was solemn. He looked as though he was recalling something. After a moment of silence, he said, Master, there's a very old abandoned city at the peak of the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range. I think I could try my luck there. Abandoned city? Mo Qingyun was silent for a moment before he nodded at Huang Feng and said, In that case, we will head to the abandoned city to take a look. If we don't find any clues, we will head to other places to take a look. Master, please follow this old servant. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had agreed to his suggestion, Huang Feng immediately stepped forward and led the way for Mo Qingyun. Around 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun arrived at the peak of Glazed Cloud Broken Mountain Range under the lead of Huang Feng. The peak of the glazed Broken Cloud mountain range was shrouded in a white mist, as if it was separated by a layer of clouds. At first glance, this scene did indeed look a bit like glass cloud shattering. There was a huge city above the white mist. However, it was not the abandoned city that old Devil Huang Feng had mentioned. This city was very prosperous. Towering palaces were built one after another, giving off a splendid appearance. Mo Qingyun and Huang Feng immediately had the same thought when they saw the scene before them. The peak of the mountain had been occupied by another organization. I never thought that glazed Broken Cloud mountain range would be occupied by another organization after so many years. I wonder which organization it is. Old Devil Huang Feng could not help but sigh when he realized that the scene before him was completely different from what he had imagined. Let's go. It doesn't matter which organization has taken over this place. Let's enter the city first. Mo Qingyun was not interested in the organization that had taken over the city. He led the way after giving Huang Feng some instructions. Huang Feng immediately followed after Mo Qingyun when he heard Mo Qingyun's order. They walked towards the city together. Very soon, Mo Qingyun and Huang Feng walked side by side and arrived at the entrance of the city. Cloud Heaven City. Mo Qingyun saw 3 majestic words carved above the city gate as he stood at the entrance. Mo Qingyun stood in front of the city gate. He discovered that everyone who entered the city would flash a badge with a pill cauldron. These people are all wearing badges with pill cauldrons. Could it be that only alchemists are allowed to enter the city? Mo Qingyun was confused when he saw the unusual scene. He was even more curious about the city now. Mo Qingyun and Huang Feng walked over with curiosity and arrived at the entrance of the Cloud Heaven City. Both of you, stop right there. Show me your alchemist badges first. A few armored guards immediately stopped Mo Qingyun and Huang Feng when they were about to enter the city. One of them said, You must be a 5-star alchemist if you want to enter the Cloud Heaven City. If you're not a 5-star alchemist, you'd better stay away from the Cloud Heaven City immediately. 5-star alchemist. Mo Qingyun frowned when he heard the guard's words. He was even more curious about the Cloud Heaven City now. It seemed like his previous guess was right. Only alchemists were allowed to enter the city. Moreover, alchemists who could enter the Cloud Heaven City all had extraordinary identities. All of them were 5-star alchemists. How dare you? My master wants to enter the city. You can't stop him. Huang Feng shouted angrily when he saw the guard's attitude. His body emitted a chilling aura. The guards' faces sank when they saw Huang Feng's attitude. There was no fear on their faces. They shouted, Don't blame me for not reminding you. There was once a 9 Heavens Xian immortal realm expert who wanted to behave atrociously in the Cloud Heaven City. In the end, he was killed by the city lord. I hope you two know what's best for you. Even a 9 Heavens Xian immortal realm expert was killed by the Cloud Heaven City's consecrator. Mo Qingyun's heart sank when he heard the guard's words. He knew that he couldn't force his way in. Even the city's consecrator was so strong. It could be seen that the city lord was even more terrifying. It was very likely that he was a Saint Realm expert. In front of such an expert, Mo Qingyun's current combat strength was far from enough. Mo Qingyun thought of another way when he knew that he couldn't force his way in. Brothers, it's our first time here and we don't know the rules. Please forgive us for offending you. Mo Qingyun took out some pills and passed them to the guards secretly. He apologized to them. The two of you, we're just doing our job. I hope you can forgive us. After receiving the medicinal pills from Mo Qingyun, the attitude of the guards immediately underwent a huge change. Then, the guards couldn't wait any longer and peeked at the grade of the elixir. A 4-star, perfect, immortal pill. The guards were shocked when they found out the grade of the pills that Mo Qingyun gave them. They looked at Mo Qingyun with a much more polite expression. As far as they were concerned, someone who could refine a 4-star, perfect, immortal pill was absolutely not a simple existence. Moreover, one of Mo Qingyun's servants was a 9-heaven Xian immortal realm expert. There was no need for them to make things difficult for Mo Qingyun. After that, one of the guards smiled and said to Mo Qingyun, "Young master, if you forgot to bring your alchemist badge, you can go to the city and look for consecrated Guyang. If he's willing to vouch for you, you can stay in the city." "All right, I got it." Mo Qingyun nodded when he heard the guard. "If that's the case, please lead the way." Aside from being Gu Yang's residence, the Pill Administration Hall was also where the immortal alchemists of Cloud Sky City cultivated. On the way here, Mo Qingyun learned of Gu Yang's identity from the guards. Gu Yang was not only the leader of the immortal alchemists of Cloud Sky City, but he was also an 8-star celestial alchemist. An 8-star celestial alchemist was considered one of the top immortal alchemists on the wild continent. "Mr. Mo, Elder Gu Yang has a bad temper. You have to be more respectful when you see him later." Perhaps the guard had received some benefits from Mo Qingyun, but he reminded Mo Qingyun in a low voice as he walked into the Pill Administration Hall. Hearing the guard's reminder, Mo Qingyun nodded and thanked the guard. "Deacon Ma, Mr. Mo did not bring his immortal alchemist badge. I would like to ask Elder Gu Yang to vouch for him." After bringing Mo Qingyun into the Pill Administration Hall, the guard walked up to a middle-aged man in purple robes and reported the situation to him respectfully. The middle-aged man in purple robes turned to look at Mo Qingyun. His eyes scanned Mo Qingyun's body, and a look of surprise immediately appeared on his face. He said, "Young man, if I'm not mistaken, your bone age is less than 10,000 years, right?" "Indeed, less than 10,000 years." Although Mo Qingyun did not understand why the man would ask such a question, he still answered truthfully. Deacon Ma was even more surprised when he heard Mo Qingyun's answer. He nodded at Mo Qingyun as if he had acknowledged Mo Qingyun. "If you're a 5-star celestial alchemist in less than 10,000 years, your talent in alchemy and cultivation is monstrous." Deacon Ma praised Mo Qingyun and did not say anything else. He turned around and walked into the Pill Administration Hall. He said, "Follow me. As for whether Elder Gu Yang is willing to vouch for you, that will depend on your luck." "All right." Mo Qingyun responded and followed Deacon Ma into the Pill Administration Hall. After a while, Mo Qingyun walked into an alchemy room with Deacon Ma leading the way. At this moment, a red-haired old man was sitting in the alchemy room, carefully reading an ancient scroll. If Duan Ling Tian was not mistaken, this red-haired old man was Elder Gu Yang. "Lord Gu Yang, this young master would like you to test his celestial alchemist level and vouch for him to stay in Cloud Heaven City." Deacon Ma walked up to the red-haired old man and bowed respectfully as he explained the purpose of Mo Qingyun's visit. While Deacon Ma was speaking, Mo Qingyun also bowed to show his respect for Gu Yang. Apart from asking for a favor, Gu Yang's status as an 8-star celestial alchemist was worthy of him doing this. "I'm not free. Take him away." Gu Yang didn't even raise his head as he waved his hand at Deacon Ma, showing some impatience. Deacon Ma looked troubled when he saw Gu Yang's attitude. He wanted to fight for Mo Qingyun and said, "Lord Gu Yang, This young master's bone age is less than 10,000 years. If he's a 5-star celestial alchemist, he's a rare talent. Bone age less than 10,000 years. Gu Yang's interest was piqued. He put down the ancient scroll in his hand and looked at Mo Qingyun curiously. Under Gu Yang's gaze, Mo Qingyun immediately felt a strong pressure, as if he was being seen through. One had to know that in celestial alchemists, soul, energy, and perception were much stronger than ordinary cultivators. Mo Qingyun was a little worried that Gu Yang would discover that he possessed the Gate of Destinies. I hope this elder Gu Yang can't see through the seal that Tench set up. Under Gu Yang's gaze, Mo Qingyun forced himself to remain calm as he silently prayed in his heart. Gu Yang glanced at Mo Qingyun, and a look of surprise appeared on his face as he curiously walked over to Mo Qingyun. Then, Gu Yang looked at Mo Qingyun as if he was admiring a piece of art. If one did not know what was going on, they would think that Gu Yang had some weird fetish. Deacon Ma was speechless when he saw Gu Yang's abnormal behavior. He did not understand why Gu Yang would lose his composure. He had worked for Gu Yang for tens of thousands of years, but he had never seen Gu Yang like this. Even when Gu Yang was facing the city lord, he did not lose his composure like this. Chapter 1869. The Reincarnation of a Mighty Figure. Deacon Ma was confused. He didn't understand why Gu Yang would say that. Deacon Ma wasn't the only one who was confused. Even Huang Feng was surprised. He was curious about Mo Qingyun's identity. If Mo Qingyun wasn't the reincarnation of a mighty figure, how could his strength be so terrifying? More importantly, a powerful divine weapon like the shooting god Bao was in Mo Qingyun's hands. All of this was definitely not a coincidence. Senior Gu Yang, what do you mean? Mo Qingyun didn't answer Gu Yang's question. Instead, he asked Gu Yang a question of his own. Mo Qingyun really wanted to know if Gu Yang had discovered something by asking him such a question. When Mo Qingyun was speaking, he also raised his guard against Gu Yang. Gu Yang was an 8th layer, 9 heavens Xian immortal. Mo Qingyun couldn't afford to be careless. I don't have any bad intentions. You don't have to be so wary of me. Seeing Mo Qingyun's solemn expression, Gu Yang immediately smiled to show that he didn't have any bad intentions. Although he heard Gu Yang's words, Mo Qingyun didn't let down his guard and remained vigilant. After all, he knew nothing about Gu Yang. It wasn't a bad thing to be careful. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was still on guard, Gu Yang didn't say anything else. He directly said to Mo Qingyun, "Sir, if you aren't the reincarnation of a mighty figure, how could you break through to the perfected golden immortal stage in less than 1,000 years of cultivation? Less than 1,000 years." Deacon Ma and Huang Feng were shocked when they heard Gu Yang's words. They felt like their brains weren't enough to process it. In their opinion, some people who cultivated slowly wouldn't be able to reach the immortal stage even after cultivating for 1,000 years. Under normal circumstances, it would take at least 10,000 years to break through to the grand unity, profound immortal stage. Mo Qingyun had only used less than 1,000 years. This kind of cultivation speed was a little too freakish. Senior, I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm really not the reincarnation of a mighty figure. Hearing Gu Yang's analysis, a helpless expression appeared on Mo Qingyun's face as he explained, "The reason my cultivation broke through so quickly is because I encountered many fortuitous encounters, allowing me to advance by leaps and bounds." Gu Yang was even more surprised. If what Mo Qingyun said was true, then Mo Qingyun's luck was too good. Seeing Gu Yang's skeptical expression, Mo Qingyun said, "If you don't believe me, you can go to the Divine Wasteland. A few years ago, I cultivated in the Yongnan Immortal's Palace. A few years. And he said, "Mr. Mo, there are 3 portions of the ingredients for refining the great profound spirit golden pill. You can start refining the pill now." "Okay, thank you, Deacon Ma." After receiving the materials from Deacon Ma, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately began to refine the golden profound spirit pill. Soon, Mo Qingyun took out a huge alchemy cauldron. Gu Yang and Gu Yang were shocked when they saw the alchemy cauldron. A sage-tier alchemy cauldron. Gu Yang's eyes lit up. He admired Mo Qingyun even more. In his opinion, someone who could take out a sage-tier alchemy cauldron must have high alchemy skills. If his alchemy skills were not good enough, even if he took out a sage-tier alchemy cauldron, he would not be able to activate it. Since Mo Qingyun took out a sage-tier alchemy cauldron, he must be skilled in using it. Otherwise, he would be setting himself up. When Deacon Ma saw the sage-tier alchemy cauldron, his thoughts were different from Gu Yang's. He was more envious. Even as a peak 5-star alchemist, he did not have a sage-tier alchemy cauldron. Ignoring Gu Yang and the others, Mo Qingyun took out the 9 cranes homing cauldron and started refining the pill. Soon, Mo Qingyun threw the ingredients into the 9 cranes homing cauldron. After throwing the ingredients into the 9 cranes homing cauldron, Mo Qingyun also injected a powerful spiritual flame into the cauldron. Since they were in the immortal desolate world, Mo Qingyun did not dare to use his bloodline power. Therefore, he did not activate his bloodline flame. Next, Mo Qingyun used his spirit flames to purify the various alchemy materials at the same time. Senior, the pill has been successfully refined. Please check it. Mo Qingyun stood up and handed the pill to Gu Yang, waiting for Gu Yang's evaluation. Although he was waiting for Gu Yang's evaluation, Mo Qingyun was not worried at all. If Gu Yang did not deliberately pick on him, the great profound spirit golden pill that he had refined would definitely pass the Immortal Alchemy Master examination. Not bad, not bad. Gu Yang could not stop praising Mo Qingyun as he carefully inspected the pill. In Gu Yang's opinion, Mo Qingyun had only refined it once, so it was already good enough for him to obtain such a high-grade pill. After carefully inspecting the pill, Gu Yang suddenly had a bold idea and said, "Young man, with your current alchemy skills, refining a 5-star immortal pill should not be a problem. Do you want to try refining a 6-star immortal pill?" Refine a 6-star immortal pill. Deacon Ma's eyes widened when he heard Gu Yang's suggestion. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a nervous expression. If Mo Qingyun succeeded, he would become a 6-star immortal pill, and his status would be the same as Deacon Ma's. It was too shocking for someone with less than 1,000 years of bone age to become a 6-star immortal alchemy master. No, I'm not interested in taking the Immortal Alchemy Master examination for now. Upon hearing Gu Yang's suggestion, Mo Qingyun shook his head, clearly lacking interest in the matter. "You're so calm at such a young age. You're not bad." Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Gu Yang once again nodded his head in appreciation. After praising Mo Qingyun, he said, "Since you've passed the test, this old man will vouch for you and allow you to stay in Cloud Heaven City." Chapter 1872. This brat is Senior Gu Yang's martial nephew. Looking at Mo Qingyun's back, Mu Junting was shocked. Doubt flashed in his eyes. He felt that if Mo Qingyun was really Gu Yang's martial nephew, Mo Qingyun would have revealed his identity at the city gate. "Brother Junting, do you know Mr. Mo?" Seeing Mu Junting looking at Mo Qingyun's back, Luo Yin also glanced at Mo Qingyun and asked with a puzzled expression. In his opinion, even if Mo Qingyun was Gu Yang's martial nephew, Mu Junting wouldn't care so much. After all, Mu Junting was the young lord of the Wood Medicine Valley, the son of a 9-star alchemist. This status was many times higher than that of Gu Yang's martial nephew. "I don't know him, but I saw him once at the city gate." Hearing Luo Yan's question, Mu Junting shook his head and withdrew his gaze from Mo Qingyan. Luo Yan didn't question Mu Junting's words and smiled faintly. "Brother Junting, he's just an unknown brat. You don't have to take him to heart." "Yes." Mu Junting nodded. However, it was obvious from his expression that he was very interested in Mo Qingyan. Not only that, but he also felt a trace of enmity towards Mo Qingyan. This feeling was very strange and puzzling to Mu Junting. Logically speaking, he and Mo Qingyun didn't know each other, and with Mo Qingyun's identity, he shouldn't care about him. Forget it. Maybe the Alchemist Temple's trial is approaching and I'm feeling too much pressure. Mu Junting comforted himself as he walked out of the city lord's mansion with Luo Yan. Mo Qingyun didn't know that he had unknowingly made an enemy. After parting with Mu Junting and the others, Guyang led Mo Qingyun and the others to the city lord's residence. Soon, Guyang led Mo Qingyun and the others to a quiet back mountain. There was a white-haired old man sitting on a blue stone at the back of the mountain. He was leisurely fishing with a fishing rod. This white-haired old man was the city lord of Cloud Sky City, Robotion. "Greetings, city lord." Seeing this white-haired old man, Guyang showed a respectful expression and immediately bowed to him. Mo Qingyun and the others followed behind Guyang and bowed respectfully to the white-haired old man. Luo Batian didn't respond to Guyang and the others' greetings, continuing to fish. Seeing Luo Batian's actions, Mo Qingyun and the others looked at each other, but they didn't voice their doubts. Splash! Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling puzzled, the sound of water splashing could be heard. A cyan demonic fish fell into the water. Although it was in the shape of a fish, there were 4 scales on its abdomen. "Congratulations, City Lord, you've caught a blue lightning dragon-scaled fish." Guyang was delighted when he saw Robotion catch a fish. He immediately congratulated Robotion. Luo Batian put the fish away and put down the fishing rod in his hand. He glanced at Mo Qingyun and the others and said, "Guyang, you suddenly came to see me.